I'm going to use a microphone today because last time I lost my voice. So thank you all for being here today. We're really happy to be back here and to continue the third part of the series on Bodhicitta. And we'll be bringing our minds in continuation forward from what we've shared before in the past two to remind us what we've been sharing and then bring it forth. So we've been going over the 6 perfections in the framework of cultivating the heart of Bodhicitta. And so we've gone over already the first 2 paramitas, which is the paramita of generosity. And then we went over the paramita of ethical discipline, morality. We then went over the paramita of patience and of joyful effort, motivation. And today we'll go over concentration and wisdom. This has a lot to do with mindfulness and the wisdom that arises from that mindfulness. And so we'll start off by doing a meditation together and then move into the teaching today. We'll have a moment where we're doing the kind of integration activity together. And then we'll do question and answer. We have like this kind of a significant portion of time set aside for question and answer today. And then I hear there's a potluck at the end, so we're very excited. We all know we came for the potluck. Listo, gracias.
Okay, bien. Muy buenos días.
So, good morning to everybody.
Trashidelek, dice Trashidelek.
Tashidelek.
Trashidelek, ¿ustedes saben significado?
So, you know the meaning of Tashidelek?
Es tibetano.
It's Tibetan.
Trashi se llama. Trashi, primero, ¿no?
Tashi is
¿Qué
first.
significa trashi?
What does Tashi mean?
Auspicioso.
It means auspiciousness.
Auspicioso, fortuna, ¿cierto?
Auspiciousness and great fortune.
Trashi. De, ¿qué significa? De.
So what do we mean by de?
De significa felicidad.
De means happiness, joyfulness.
Lek.
And lek.
Lek es como la supremo.
Lek means supreme
O excelente.
or excellent.
También siempre, también traduce esas dos cosas. De significa felicidad temporalis.
De means like temporary happiness.
Significa nosotros mientras vivimos ese mundo, ¿no? Como la
So
samsara,
while we're
digamos.
living in the world of samsara,
Y con nosotros necesitamos buena salud, larga vida
we also want good health,
todo bien,
long
¿no?
life, and we want things to go well.
Y algo todo positivo, ¿sí?
And we want that which
Felicidad.
is positive, so happiness.
De se llama, ¿no?
So that's de.
Lek significa también última felicidad.
Lek means like the ultimate happiness.
Cuando nosotros liberación de la completamente de sufrimiento de samsara, ¿no?
And so this means when we fully liberate from samsara.
Que llama lek.
So that's lek.
Trashi de lek.
Tashi de lek.
Que nosotros hi dice, ¿no? En inglés.
So like in English you say like hi, hello.
No sé, hola, dice, ¿no?
Or you say hola.
Entonces, tibetanos, normalmente palabra muy rico,
The Tibetan language is like a very rich language.
solo dice trashi de lek.
So may you have the auspiciousness of happiness in this life and the ultimate happiness. Hello.
¿No? Como deseo, ¿no?
It's
Como
like our
deseo.
deep wish for you when you say hello.
Cualquier persona, ¿no?
So any person we say this to.
Trashi de lek.
Tashi de lek.
Ya, eso va a comenzar buena,
So
positiva, ¿no?
this just starts everything off positive.
Positiva, ¿no? Eso, ¿no? Entonces, eso yo creo que es muy importante. Trashi
So
de lek,
I think it's
¿no?
very important to start off with Tashi de lek.
Y también yo siento mucha alegría, ¿no?
And I feel very happy.
Como siempre compartiendo el Dharma.
It's so beautiful to be able to share the Dharma,
Una gota de Dharma.
like a little drop of
como una
Dharma,
familia, ¿no?
like family.
So, ¿no? Familia de Dharma.
like the Dharma family.
Todos nosotros estamos veniendo acá misma intención,
We
¿no?
came here for the same intention,
No es importante cuál cultura,
no matter what
Idioma,
culture or language
forma,
or
colores,
form or
¿no?
color.
No hay importancia.
It doesn't matter.
Tengo misma dirección.
We're here for the same direction.
¿Cuál dirección?
And what's the direction?
Quiero hacer mejor persona.
I'd like to be a better person.
Eso es dirección,
That's
¿cierto?
the direction.
Entonces, ¿dónde comienzo para ser mejor persona, no?
Oh.
Está bien. Oh, tranquilo. Bien. Dharma. Eso es Dharma, ¿no? Ya. Bueno, ya. Eso bien. ¿Necesita?
No, es bien.
¿Está bien? Ok. No, por ahí. ¿Entendió? Por eso comienza la mejor persona, ¿no? ¿Dónde comienza la mejor persona?
So what we start with is wanting to be a better person every day.
Nosotros normalmente buenas personas,
Normally, we're pretty good people.
100%, ¿no?
Like, that's for sure.
Desde nacimos buenas personas, ¿cierto?
Since we were born, like when we were born, you're a good person when you're
Bajo de
born.
amor
You're
incondicional.
born under unconditional love
Cariño.
and care.
Todos nosotros nacimos, ¿no? Ya, y eso es de buena
We were
persona,
all
¿no?
born with this, and we were born as a good person.
Entonces, ¿por qué nos olvidando eso?
And why are we forgetting that?
Tanto distracción
Because of the distraction
en la samsara,
in
¿no?
samsara,
Mundo moderno,
in
¿cierto?
the modern world.
Muchas cosas, preocupaciones, ¿no?
So we have so many worries.
Entonces, poco a poco la mente va a eso, ¿no?
So little by
Distraír.
little, the mind gets distracted and all these
Qué lindo,
things.
bonito eso, ¿no?
It's so beautiful.
Qué bonito eso.
Nah.
La mente quiso
And
irse
the mind
fuera,
just wants to go outside.
fuera. Olvido
And it
su
keeps
lindo.
forgetting its home.
Olvido sus ornamentos.
It's forgetting its jewels.
Esa manera olvidando,
That's
¿sí?
the way that we're forgetting.
Después quieren hábitos,
And then we create these strong habits
Carácter, ¿no?
and characteristics,
tendencia.
tendencies.
Es muy difícil quebrar, ¿no?
And then it gets very difficult to break those
La mente como
tendencies.
salvaje, ¿no?
And the mind gets wild.
Por eso ahí existe un camino.
So that's why there's a path.
Eso es importante, ¿ya?
And that's important.
Por eso siente privilegiado,
So feel privileged
afortunado.
and fortunate.
Siempre sentir eso.
So always feel that.
Sentir alegría.
Feel that
No.
happiness.
No, eso tiene que comenzar.
That's where we start.
Tengo vida preciosa.
I have a precious human life.
Tengo preciosa dharma.
And I have the precious dharma.
Preciosa como la sangha.
And I have the precious sangha.
Amigo.
And I have friends.
Eso sentir, ¿ya?
So we start with that.
Si tú primero comienzas eso,
If you start there,
ya comienza, ¿no?
then you begin.
Reconocer eso, ¿no?
So recognize it.
Porque a veces nosotros nunca agradece.
Like a lot of times we're not giving this gratitude and this,
Reclama la vida.
we're always criticizing things in life.
Siempre siente algo falta.
We're always feeling like something's lacking.
Nunca satisfecho.
We're never satisfied.
Tengo eso, también no tampoco.
I have
no.
this, but it's also not okay.
Después, tampoco de
I
no,
need
no.
that, and it's
No
also not
satisfecho.
good. We're never
Mucho.
satisfied.
No satisfecho, ¿no? Y tú satisfecho eso, ¿no? Ya tengo.
So gratitude helps us to be satisfied with what we have.
Ok, ahora vamos meditando un poquito.
So we're going to meditate a little bit.
Inhalando profundamente.
Inhaling deeply.
Postura más cómoda, tú
Just
sientes.
come into
Simple.
a comfortable posture.
Inhalando profundamente.
Inhaling deeply
Por la nariz.
through the nose.
Tomando todas las bendiciones.
And breathing in all of the blessings.
Amor y compasión.
Love and compassion.
Toda la sabiduría.
All the wisdom.
Sabiduría de los seres iluminados.
The wisdom of the enlightened beings.
Luz blanco entrando.
Bringing in the white light
Excelente por la boca también.
and exhaling through the mouth.
Excelente todas las preocupaciones.
Exhale all of your preoccupations, your worries,
Tristeza,
your
miedo.
sadness, your fear,
Kármico.
your karma,
Tendencia.
the karmic tendencies, your habits.
Cambiando hábitos.
Allow them to change.
Voy a echar un luz blanco saliendo luz oscura.
I'm going to pull in the white light and I'm going to release the like obscurations.
Y poco a poco conectar, tú naturaliza,
Little by little connect with your true nature,
tal como son.
the way that it is.
Somos, ¿cuál somos?
What are we?
Conectar con eso.
Connect with it.
No nace inventar nada.
You don't have to invent anything.
Solo tú sentir, tú naturaliza como es tú.
Just feel your nature as it is.
Está olvidado.
We just forgot about it.
Ahora conecten, recuerda.
Now we're reconnecting with it.
Soy
Remembering,
amorosa,
I'm loving,
compasivo,
I'm compassionate,
alegría.
I'm joyful.
Eso me naturaliza.
That's my nature.
No voy a contaminar tóxico.
I'm not going to contaminate it with toxins.
Desde ahí sentimos compasión. Muchos seres como viven eso. Muchos seres sin dar cuenta viven la confusión, la tristeza, miedos, y
Now-
sentimos compasión.
Allow your heart to open to compassion that so many beings live in this distraction. They live in this unmindfulness. They live in this kind of state of suffering, and they don't even know it.
Yo quiero ayudar,
And I'd like to help them.
apoyar,
I'd like to support them.
generar una mente panorámica
So we want to generate a panoramic mind
que permite ver completo,
that allows us to see it completely,
una visión más amplia.
a vision that is wide and expansive.
Solo conecta esa mente pura.
Just connect with this pure mind,
Mente coraje,
this courageous,
amorosa,
loving
sabiduría,
wisdom.
inseparable.
They are inseparable qualities.
Ese está siempre en tu corazón.
It's always in your heart.
Cuando contamina, transforma la tierra en venenos.
When it is contaminated, then that's when it turns into the three poisons.
De amor, transforma la apego, rabia, coraje, rabia y sabiduría, confusión. Cuando está contaminamos.
Love turns into attachment. Courage or strength turns into anger. And the wisdom turns into confusion whenever they are impure.
Es uno solo bases, no tiene dos.
It's one single basis, they're not two.
Solo conecta un momento esa mente.
Just connect with this mind for a moment.
Sangen Shandan Soge Chonam La Changjo Bardo Dane Kyatsu Dagi Jinso Gebe Sonam Gi Rola Vanjir Sange Jobar Sho Sangen Shandan Soge Chonam La Changjo Bardo Dane Kyatsu Dagi Jinso Gebe Sonam Gi Rola Vanjir Sange Jobar.
In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the most excellent Sangha, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. For the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I achieve Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings.
Nanangada Nyambe Semjin Tamje Dewa Andang Devi Gyudang Dembara Donga Yi Gyudang Tawara Gyuchi Donga Mebe Dewa Midrawa Yere Chada Nida Tarve Danyam La Neva Yorji.
May all sentient beings, as boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from joy, and may they be free from sorrow. May they rest with equanimity, free from attachment and aversion.
Solo medita esas cuatro frases.
We're just thinking about these four phrases.
Toda la serie incluimos todos los seres vivos que mueven, que tienen sentimientos.
All beings means every being that moves, every being that has feelings, all sentient beings.
Tener la felicidad,
May they have happiness.
causa de felicidad,
May they have the causes of happiness,
causa de felicidad como la sabiduría,
like the wisdom,
compasión,
the compassion.
eso semilla.
Those are the seeds of happiness.
Todo ser liberar sufrimiento,
May they be free from suffering
causa de sufrimiento.
and the causes of suffering.
¿Cuál es la causa? Causa es
What are the causes?
tener veneno de mente.
The three poisons of the mind are the causes.
Si no libera la causa, no libera el fruto.
If we don't liberate from the causes, we don't liberate from the fruits.
Después todos seres siempre tienen felicidad permanente, no condicionados.
And may those conditions, may they be permanent, may they not be conditioned, or
Una felicidad permanente, una interna felicidad,
a internal happiness that is permanent, lasting,
paz,
peaceful,
inner paz,
inner peace,
alegría.
and happiness, joy.
todos seres descansar
May all these beings, may they rest.
como somos uno,
May we recognize our oneness,
independiente de la forma.
independent of form.
Descansa libre de apego, aversión.
May we rest free from attachment and aversion,
Todos somos igual, sentir igual.
all feeling equal.
Inhalen, exhala profundamente.
Inhaling and exhaling deeply,
Profundamente. Soltando.
and letting go.
Oh, y ahí poco abre el ojo.
And little by little opening the eyes.
Okay. ¿Vas a hablar algo o no?
And so in the past sessions, like I spoke about, we've been speaking about the 6 perfections and how to apply those in daily life. And we went with, at the end of the sessions, we always do a prayer that says, may the precious and excellent bodhicitta arise where it has not arisen. Those were the generosity and the moral conduct. Those help us to give rise to bodhicitta, the courageous, loving mind of awakening. And then the second phrase says, may it never decline where it has arisen. And we spoke about the paramita of patience and the paramita of joyful effort. So that these 2 aspects help us to not, wherever it has arisen, may it never decline. So that joyful effort always keeps us motivated and keeps it rising and rising. And now we're going to speak about that third phrase, which is, may it always increase more and more. And so, and speaking about the bodhicitta that we began to cultivate in our hearts, may it always increase more and more and more for ourselves and for others. And so in order to do that, we're going to now study today the 2 paramitas of concentration and wisdom. And so, muchas gracias, Lama.
Wonderful. Ok. Ok, entonces anteriormente recordamos un poquito.
So we're going to bring our minds in continuity from what we studied before.
¿No? Nosotros ya aprendimos poco.
We learned a little bit.
Entonces es importante Bodhicitta, ¿no? Todos ya sabiendo, ¿no? Eso es importante.
So bodhicitta, we really need to understand it.
Eso nosotros estamos sembrando esencia, ¿no?
There we are. This is the seed, the essence.
Eso es una semilla de como despertar.
It's the seed of awakening.
Todo ser luminoso desperto y yo sembró este.
Every being that has fully awakened, this is the seed that they planted.
Cualquiera quien cosechando naranja y él sembró una naranja.
Anybody that ever harvested an orange, they actually cultivated an orange seed.
¿Cierto? Eso es ley de causa y efecto,
It's
¿sí?
the law of cause and effect.
Primero importante es entender eso.
So
¿no?
we need to understand that.
Ok, después ¿qué es ese semilla correcto?
So what is the correct seed?
Quiero ese fruto de iluminación.
I want the fruit of awakening.
Bodhicitta.
The seed is bodhicitta.
Aí tu pergunta, ¿qué es ese bodhicitta?
And then we say, what is bodhicitta?
Hay mucha traducción.
There's a lot of translations for it.
Pero yo digo más como uno de la traducción puede entender la energía que hablo, ¿no?
So the easiest way to understand bodhicitta,
Amorosa, compasivo.
it is a mind that is loving, that is courageous, and is wise.
Como sabiduría, ¿no?
It's wisdom.
Eso puede definir un bodhicitta.
This is how you can
Inseparable.
easily define bodhicitta. They're inseparable qualities.
Y el tibetano tiene una palabra ricos.
So in Tibetan, we have a very rich word for it.
Dice, Bodhicitta, ustedes aprenden
So the
eso.
word bodhicitta, Sanskrit.
장, 축, 셈.
So in Tibetan, it's called Chang Chup Sem.
장,
He
축,
said, I want you to
셈.
remember
Ya,
that.
ustedes repite después el lama.
He said, repeat after me.
Ahora clase en
Now
tibetano.
we're having Tibetan class.
Ya, 장,
Chang
축,
Chup
셈.
Sem.
장,
Chang
축,
Sem.
셈. ¿Cómo escribe 장?
So how do you even
no?
write Chang?
J, A, N, K.
It's spelled with a J-A-N-G.
장, ¿cierto?
장.
장. 축, ¿cómo escribe? 축, C-H-U,
Pe.
B o P. Eso no
Yeah,
importa.
Chang Chup. Yeah, so it's C-H-U-B or P.
장, 축,
축.
셈.
And then S-E-M. Sem.
¿Cómo escribe 셈?
S-A-E-M.
Ya, ok. Pero en español escribimos S-E-M.
Yeah, E in English is E.
E, ok. I, no? English.
But it's spelled with a M. E.
I don't.
S-E.
E?
S-E-M.
Ok. Esta como escribe mejor, 셈, ¿ya? Y importante como salir la pronunciación, ¿no?
So yeah, you want to have the pronunciation. Chang Chup Sem.
장축셈, 장축셈, 장축셈. Solo ese fue de cantar. 장축셈,
You said you can just sing that.
¿no?
They could just sing and say that word.
Sí, ayuda eso, ¿no? Porque a grabar, 장축셈,
Because then it'll just like come into your consciousness.
장축셈, ¿ya? Ahora significado. Primero aprendemos, ¿no? Frase, ¿no? ¿Qué significa 장?
So first, what is Chang?
장 tiene mucho significado.
It's got a lot of meaning,
Más de como puede ser dos.
but there's two main meanings to it.
Uno, 장 significa como la fluidez, ¿no? Como ya,
One word
como
is
tiene
Chang
un
means
internamiento.
a fluidity.
장축, muy fluidez, ¿no?
It's like
Ya.
flowing.
Ustedes ahora porque sabe 장축, ¿no? Pero no tiene fluidez todavía.
So you
Puede
know
pronunciar.
Chang Chup right now, but maybe it's not flowing yet. Like
¿Cierto?
you have to kind of remember.
Porque nace
You
práctica,
got to
¿no?
practice.
Es no llama 장.
So you're not in Chang yet
No
because you're like
internamiento
trying to
todavía,
think of it.
Nace 축, 장,
Chang.
¿cierto? Es un significado.
So that's
장
one meaning
significa
of Chang.
que tiene internamientos.
It's got this training.
Familiarizados.
You're already familiar. It's flowing.
장.
So it's embodied. He's saying it's embodied. It's just coming out of our pores.
Otro 장 significa purificado.
And the
completamente.
other meaning for Chang means purified.
¿Cómo purificado?
How did we purify?
Como uno mantequilla purificado como la ghee.
Like butter that was fully purified into ghee.
No hay ninguna. Hay como mantequilla puede tener todavía cocida. dentro, ¿no?
Butter still has like kind of like the fats and fat solids and things into it.
Pero ghee no tiene.
But ghee
¿cierto?
doesn't have that.
Exacto, pura.
It's pure.
장.
Chang.
Oh, ya eso quiero.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
Ahora, ¿qué pasa? Chup.
Then we have chup.
Chup, ¿qué significa? Chup.
What does chup mean?
Tiene mucho significado. Pero resume, chup significa tiene flourishing de cualidad.
The
Flourishing
chup
de
means
cualidad.
flourishing, all of its good qualities.
Por ejemplo, uno taza con la agua ¿cómo se llama? Algo, ¿cómo se llama? Uno barros. Agua con
So
barros, por
let's say
ejemplo.
like a cup has mud in it.
No 장.
It's not chang
Porque mucho contaminado, ¿no?
because it's still contaminated, so it's not purified.
Hay no chup.
And then there's no chup
¿Qué significa? No chup.
because the chup is what?
No crece cualidades.
It's not
no ver.
flourishing. You can't see its natural
No
qualities.
permite tal como
You
son.
can't see as it is.
Ahora puede ver eso que las
But right now you can see it.
장chup se llama.
So you could say chang chup.
Chup es tiene agua, mira ahí. ¿no? Chup cualidades, agua, ¿no?
You can see
Como
its
fuera
qualities of the water.
Es bella ese completamente eso, ¿no?
And you can fully see it.
Ornamentos, ver su color.
You can see like its natural qualities and ornaments.
¿Cuál es el chup?
What is chup?
Todos los potenciales.
It means all of our potential.
Puede ser amor incondicional.
Unconditional love,
generosity, the six
generosity, the
perfections.
6 perfections.
Todo eso como las cualidades.
That's the qualities
Flourishing.
of our mind. The natural qualities of the mind.
Porque Chang es como contamina, limitación.
Chang means that it's limited,
no permite crecer.
that doesn't allow it to grow.
Una semilla puse un químico, no permite multiplicar, ¿no?
You had a
No.
chemical seed and it doesn't allow it to grow at its fullest potential.
Una semilla orgánico, tú sabes, mucho puede
You put an
multiplicar,
organic seed, it multiplies how many seeds it can have.
¿cierto? Y eso pasa cuando está Chang. Y eso pasa cuando Chang no tiene ninguno tóxicos.
The,
Semilla no tiene tóxico, ahí puede ver las cualidades.
so he's saying that when the mind doesn't have any negativities in it, its natural qualities of love, compassion, generosity, all of the perfections naturally flourish. That's its natural qualities. And so the Chang is when we purify the mind. In this case, he's talking about a seed. And then when it's purified, it naturally flourishes its good qualities.
Chang,
Chang. So Chup
Sem, ahora
comes
Sem.
from the purification. First, you have to purify it, and it naturally flourishes its good qualities. And then you have the word sim.
Chang, no nubia.
Chang,
No nubia.
Chang means there's no
No nubia.
clouds.
Chup,
Chup means
Sol y
you can
luna.
see the sun and the moon naturally there already because you cleared the clouds.
muy simple.
It's
Muy
very
sencillo.
simple.
Ese es lo mismo entero, ¿no?
And
Momento no nubia, porque nube de los pensamientos negativos, aflicciones, ¿qué a ver tú? ¿Qué a ver?
So
Pura amor,
like
pura compasión.
whenever your own mind, you look at your mind and the clouds have cleared, what do you see? You naturally feel peaceful, calm, loving.
Mucha cualidad, ¿no?
There's a lot of qualities there.
Tu propia cualidad,
Your own qualities.
otra cualidad,
And
¿no?
you see those qualities in others too.
Porque no nubia.
Because then there's no clouds. Porque es sim.
Sem es mente.
And sim means the mind.
Mente, esta casa hablan, uno mente purificado está hablando,
So
¿ya?
it means a mind that is purified.
No está hablando cerebro.
I'm not talking about your brain.
No hablando como nosotros pensamos mucho,
I'm not
demasiado.
talking about the mind that has all of its thoughts and chatters and all the things that it's doing all day.
Uno mente como si fuera uno guía.
I'm talking about the most subtle mind that we have. It's the most subtle, purified version of our mind, and I call it Gi.
Mente guía.
The mind of Gi.
Oh, eso no es elaboración.
So it's a mind that has no elaboration to it.
Ese meta.
That's the goal.
¿Entiendes? Muy simple,
That's what
¿no?
enlightenment means.
Cuando tú alcanzas eso, ¿qué pasa?
When you achieve that, what happens?
Puedes tener 24 horas de sentimiento.
Then 24 hours a day, you feel that, you experience that mind.
Tu libertad absoluta.
You fully liberated from the struggles.
No importa dónde vive.
Doesn't matter where you are.
Tú eres Buda.
You are a Buddha,
Completamente Buda,
a
¿no?
full Buddha.
Porque no hay sufrimiento.
Because there's
No
no
hay karma.
suffering, there's no karma left.
Oh, eso quieren ahora,
That's what we want.
¿no? Esa meta, ¿no?
That's the goal.
Oh, ya. Ahora entiendes Chengsu
So
Sem,
now you
¿no?
understand how powerful that word is. So what he said is the word bodhicitta means, in Tibetan, they call it Changchut Sim. And so bodhicitta is the seed of enlightenment. So if we want to, the word enlightenment can sound so kind of far out there, but he's saying bring it down to very practical terms. It means a mind that is fully purified of negativities, naturally flourishing in all of its good qualities. And that's what that means. And that's what the goal is.
¿Entendió? Ahora comprendió, simple, ¿cierto? Ahora, por ejemplo, por eso ella se llama Bodhicitta.
So that's why we talk about
Bodhicitta,
bodhicitta.
¿no? Es llamado Bodhisattvas.
And then there's a people called bodhisattvas.
¿Quién alcanzó eso?
It's the people that achieved that state of mind of
Que
bodhicitta,
realizó.
that realized it,
completamente.
achieved it.
¿Qué tiene ese mente, ese Bodhisattva?
The bodhisattva has this mind,
Pura corazón.
and they're just pure heart.
Pura quiere beneficiar
They
al
purely
altruista.
want to benefit others through altruism.
No piensa en ninguno él mismo,
They're
¿no?
not thinking about their self.
Pero incluye su felicidad.
It's already included.
Entonces nosotros estamos por eso, ¿no? No diciendo nosotros sentir inmediato eso, ¿no?
So we're in the process. We can't just flip a switch and go from here to there.
¿No? Primero es importante, tú sabes cuando hace irse un Uber, sabe la direction localization. Exacto,
Before
¿no?
you get in an Uber, you
No,
have
yeah.
to know where you're going.
Si no, puede perdidos,
If you
¿no?
don't know where you're going, you'll get lost.
Pongo yo, mira bien
So
el mapa, ¿no?
mark your GPS
Yo
correctly.
voy a llegar acá, ¿ok?
I'm going here.
No importa cuándo va a llegar.
And then doesn't matter how long it takes.
Tú estás en el camino.
You're already going that way.
Direction equivocada es
But
peligroso.
if you put the wrong direction in the GPS, then that's the danger.
trabajo muchísimo,
You
y
can
no
work
llego,
so
no quiere.
much and you don't arrive anywhere.
Hay frustración,
And then
¿no?
you're frustrated.
Oh, yeah. Eso no es bueno,
That's
¿no?
not what you want.
Por eso nosotros siempre hablamos primero importancia dónde quiere ir, ¿no?
So we got to have the right
yeah.
view and right intention. That's where it starts. Mark your GPS.
Dice visión correcto.
That's
dice,
why
¿no?
we say right view,
Visión correcta.
And right-
Panorámica.
the panoramic view.
¿No? Pero después voy a llegar allá, ¿no?
And so then you know how you're getting
Dirección.
there.
Ahí que necesita,
Then what do you need?
claro, nacer generoso,
You need generosity.
un tiempo para tú misma,
You
para
need
irse allá, ¿no?
Time for yourself to be able to
Ahí
go there.
también moralidad,
You need
¿no?
morality.
Conducta, buena
You need
conducta,
good
¿no?
conduct.
Ahí también necesita la
You need a
paciencia.
lot of patience.
Sí,
A
porque
lot
ese
of patience.
no como no va a llegar mañana, ¿no?
You're not going to arrive there just
Ya,
tomorrow.
yo quiero llegar a San José dentro de 1 hora.
You
por ejemplo.
can't just like magically say, I'm going to San Jose in 1 hour.
No existe eso, ¿no?
It doesn't
No,
exist. It's a for the private
Tal vez
plane.
unos seres completamente iluminados, tal vez se va, ¿no? ¿No?
And maybe like enlightened beings can do that.
No, como nosotros no,
But
¿cierto?
we're
¿No?
still kind of conditioned. We're in a conditioned state.
Entonces, ley de la causa efecto, ¿no?
It's the law of cause and effect.
Mínimo 4 horas.
Minimum, it's going to take
4
4
horas,
hours.
3 horas media, depende de nosotros vamos, ¿no? Vehículo que vamos.
Yeah, it depends on the type of vehicle you go
Oh,
in.
ya. Entonces, respetar
And
eso.
if you get coconuts on the way.
La paz. Ay, no perderse en la camino,
Yeah, don't
¿no?
get lost in the path trying to
Hola,
get
ya,
coconuts and
olvida.
pay valles and everything.
Ya, yo me sé cosas, olvido, durmió en la playa.
Or we like try to go to San Jose and we get lost sleeping on the beach.
Eso no puede ser, ¿no? Llegar a San José,
All right, the mission. We're going to San Jose.
compromiso, ¿no?
That's the commitment.
Oh, ya. Como paciencia muy importante.
So patience is very important.
Aceptación, paciencia
Acceptance
fundamental.
and patience
Y confianza.
and trust.
Confiar tú misma.
Trust in yourself.
Confianza el camino.
Trust in the path.
Va a llegar, está correcto, ¿no?
You will arrive. That is correct.
Entonces ahí como eso yo quiero que va yendo, ¿no? Y entonces después nace, claro, esfuerzo.
So you're going to need
Esfuerzo
joyful motivation along the
motivado,
way.
¿no?
You need to be motivated.
Ya, no suficiente tengo solo generosidad,
You can't just
disciplina,
be
la paciencia.
generous, disciplined, and patient. You have
Igual
to
nace
have effort
como
to
esfuerzo,
put your
¿no?
effort towards this.
¿Cómo no? Porque a veces, por ejemplo, nosotros, qué rico puede quedar acá, ¿no? Nace ir San José, por ejemplo,
Or
¿no?
we can be like, oh, cool, I'm
Yeah,
just going to
no.
chill here. I'm not even going to go towards San Jose.
Porque a veces con apego, ¿cierto?
Because we're
como,
attached to
como
something.
lazy se llama,
We're like,
lazy,
I'll
¿no?
get a little
Porque,
lazy.
¿no? Ahí nace esfuerzo.
So we need to put our effort.
No apegar de eso temporal
All
para
right,
hacer
this
eso,
is
¿no?
a temporary pleasure. I'm not going to
Yeah.
get lost in
Voy a
this. I'm
llegar
still
allá.
heading towards
Yeah.
enlightenment. That's
¿Sí?
what I'm really going for.
Porque hay muchos obstáculos para el Dharma,
There's
¿no?
many obstacles to practicing the Dharma.
Algunos obstáculos muy suavecitos, dulcecitos.
Some are so subtle and attractive that
Sí,
you
no da
don't know
cuenta.
what's an obstacle.
¿No? Entonces, y eso más peligroso y un obstáculo más, ¿cómo se llama?
They're more
Más
those like
obstáculos difíciles.
sultry little obstacles are a lot more dangerous than the blatantly difficult situations.
Difficult situation, por eso fondo es adversidad transformándola, ¿cómo se llama?
When it's challenging,
La camino de la
you
Bodhicitta.
want to find the path. Like you're asking for the path. So you transform adversity into the path of awakening.
En ese tipo, ¿no? Por ejemplo, alguien haga llegando fuego, porque tú más fácil percibir, ¿no?
When there's fire, like you perceive it. You're on fire, you need help.
Alguien echa aceite haga, por
If
ejemplo.
someone puts some nice little warm, oil on your
Aceite.
back,
No da cuenta.
you're like,
no
oh, I
ve.
don't recognize that
Después,
one.
ya no,
And then
no,
you
no
see
puedo,
the
es muy
attachment.
difícil.
Oh, it's all over my clothes.
Es apego, por ejemplo.
Oh, that's
Son
attachment.
muy suavecitos,
It's
¿no?
soft.
Es importante mindfulness, ¿no?
That's important to have mindfulness too. And just like in a really practical way, what he's talking about, it's sometimes called the heavenly realm or the God realm. He's talking about when we get really like lost in like, oh, I need my house to be big, or I need like these certain details, and we're like so trapped in like these comforts and these things all the time that sound so good. Oh, like I'm so busy, like I have to go to the movie and do the social things, like I don't really have time to practice because like I got to do all these other things, and we just get really infinitely distracted in those, and they look nice. They look very nice. It's not wrapped in a very nice package, and they create a sensation of temporary pleasure, but we forget that we've got a precious human life, and that we could be utilizing this time to really transform things into practice. And so he's saying those times that are hard, we're like, help, I need a teacher, and then whenever it's not so hard, we're like, oh, we're just going to enjoy it. So he's saying be particularly careful of those.
Na obstáculo, ¿no? A veces los obstáculos pensamos algo na demonio, algo manifesta, ¿no? Solo piensa eso.
Oh, sometimes we think that, like obstacles are only these really hard things in life, but they're also the pleasing things.
Obstáculo significa que tú no permite llegar a tu meta.
The obstacle means something that doesn't allow you to get to your goal.
No importa desagradable o agradable.
Whether
cosas,
it's
¿no?
pleasing or displeasing, it still can be a road bump.
Que no permite algo hacer.
You're not arriving to your goal.
Es hasta pensamiento.
So it can be thoughts.
Ya por el momento de meditación poquito, ¿cierto?
So you're in a meditation, for example.
Debe salir una idea nueva.
And then you got these like good ideas for your project.
Es idea muy lindos,
It's a very
¿no?
nice idea.
Te digo obstáculo para
But it was
meditación.
an obstacle. You stopped meditating.
Por ejemplo, no permite la concentración.
And so it's not allowing you to concentrate.
Eso dame obstáculos.
So that's also an obstacle.
Ya, por eso, claro, es importante nosotros más o menos, yo hablando poquito, ¿no? La marcos,
So
¿cierto?
I'm kind of just giving you like the background, the framework,
Para pensar eso.
so you can think about that.
Uno de las yo da cuenta, mayor sufrimiento de humano sobre por las opciones.
That's very true. I think that most of the time, one of the biggest struggles for humans is that we have just too many options.
Opciones, ¿verdad? Sobre, ¿no? Porque nunca dice, Lama Dojo nunca dice, yo no tengo taza, nunca
Like
sufro.
Lama's never like these days. He's saying like these days in the modern world, you're never like I don't have a cup.
Yo no sufro con, no
I'm
tengo
not
comida,
like
no sufro.
a lack of like access to have food.
Yo busco opciones.
It's because there's
Quiero
too many options.
otra taza.
Oh, I got this cup and now I need a bigger cup.
Okay. Por ejemplo, es sufrimiento porque no satisfecho,
Because we're
¿no?
not ever satisfied.
No agradeces que tú
We don't
tienes.
just like have thanks for what we have.
No reconoce que tú
We
tienes.
don't recognize what we have.
Por eso yo digo agradecer, menos crítica, menos reclamas.
So when we have more gratefulness, we've got a less criticism and we're lessening our dissatisfaction with everything.
No,
The endless desire that keeps getting us distracted.
¿entendió? Esa es mi propia reflexión.
That's my own reflection.
Yo reflexiono una palabra cosita, reflexionando, meditando, ¿no?
But these are things that I've been reflecting on.
Entonces a compartir, a veces, bueno, puede ser
But
eso, ¿no?
yeah, just wanted
Ayuda.
to share. Maybe it could be helpful for
Y eso se llama
others.
sangha, ¿cierto?
That's what we do in
Sangha,
Sangha. We
uno con
reflect
otro,
together.
como compartir, ¿no?
We can share.
Yo sentí eso, ¿cómo tú sientes
I
eso?
feel this. What do you think?
Ya,
That's what we
solo.
should be doing in
Esta no
Sangha.
significa obligando nada,
Doesn't
¿no?
mean we're obligating
Solo
anything.
comparten en la mesa sus sentimientos,
But
¿no?
you can, that's what we do in Sangha. You should be able to share what you're experiencing, what you feel.
Y lo poniendo en la mesa, ¿no?
Mhm.
Opciones. Ok, entonces hoy día nosotros, Carolina ha hablado, ¿no? Nosotros tenemos Bodhicitta, hoy día, una Bodhicitta última que puede, no suficiente, solo ya tenemos ya sembrados, que necesita la crecer.
So we don't just so we spoke about already the other two phrases of the Bodhicitta prayer. And right now he's saying it's not just enough just to seed it or just to let it be. We want it to grow.
¿No? Porque nosotros árbol de Bodhicitta está pequeño todavía,
So we
¿no?
have a small little tree of Bodhicitta.
Entonces no estable, no
But it's
estable,
not
¿no?
stable yet. Doesn't have its roots.
No tiene estructura
It
todavía,
doesn't
¿no?
have a good structure.
¿Y cuál es importante más crecer rápido? ¿Cuál es importancia ahora?
So what is important for it to grow?
Concentración,
Concentration
sabiduría.
and wisdom
Eso que permite.
that allows it to grow.
Okay. ¿Qué significa concentración?
What does it mean, concentration?
Sánscrito dice samadhi.
In Sanskrit, it's called samadhi.
Tibetano tiene varias
In
traducciones. Eso.
Tibetan, there's many translations for it.
Samadhi.
Samadhi.
Tingi zin.
In Tibetan, we call tingi zen.
Tingi, ¿qué significa? Tingi.
What is tingi mean?
Tingi significa como algo eso, muy como la concentrado, con la calma,
It
¿cierto?
means a very deep, calm concentration.
Pero tiene conciencia
It's
también, ¿no?
got consciousness. It's not dull.
Tingi significa, ¿no?
Tingi.
Zin significa sostener.
Zen means it's sustained.
Sostener esa calma.
You're sustaining this calm concentration.
Esa es una definición.
That's the definition of
Samadhi.
the concentration or samadhi.
Otro no se llama samten. Se
And
llama.
another way we call it in Tibetan is samten.
Sam significa conectado con la mente, ¿no?
Sam means connected to the mind,
Ten significa establecido, estructurado.
and ten means stabilized, structured.
Entonces se llama samten, ¿no?
Samten.
Y entonces, por eso samten es como la también conocido cultivando la samadhi o también shamatas, ¿no? También eso. Es también conocido. Samten es como la shamata o también samadhis.
Okay, so the samtin or this concentration is also, it's like a deep shamatha. It's the practice of
¿no?
shamatha.
Un profundo calma,
It's a deep calm.
como océano.
It's like the ocean.
Porque tiene muchas olas,
It has many, many waves,
pero el seguir no mueve abajo.
but it doesn't move underneath.
Muy bien.
The deep ocean doesn't, it has a very deep stability to it.
¿Entendió? Eso quiero cultivar, ¿no?
That's what we want to cultivate.
Cuando tiene este océano de calma,
When we have this ocean of calm,
no va a distraer.
then we won't be distracted.
Como un agua chiquitito, por ejemplo, ¿no?
Like imagine
Corriendo de montaña.
a small water coming from the mountain, like a
Mucho
stream.
sonido, ¿no?
It's got a lot of sound, the stream,
Y va por todo lado va,
and
¿no?
it's going all over the place.
Por él dependiendo del lugar donde pasa, ¿no?
And it goes wherever
Conditions.
it can. It depends on conditions.
Es distracción.
It's kind of like our distraction.
Océano, distracción.
But the deep ocean has no
Queda su
distraction.
lugar, ¿no?
It stays.
Puede mover poquito.
It can move.
Mover. Pero nunca va completamente océano a
But,
otro lado, ¿no?
it never goes somewhere else.
Agua chiquitito va.
But the
todo lado.
small kind of stream, it goes all over the place.
Eso es diferencia, ¿no?
So that's the difference.
Por eso shamatha es súper importante, ese calma mental, ¿no? Calma
So
mental.
shamatha is very important.
Es nace la vipassana.
And we need vipassana.
Si tenemos eso, nace toda la sabiduría.
So from this calm, this wisdom naturally arises.
¿No? Y vipassana.
So that's the vipassana.
Vipassana significa ver tal como son.
Vipassana means to see things as they are.
Comprender cómo, tal como son funcionando la realidad, ¿no?
To see reality as it is.
Especialmente comprender ausencia de yo.
Especially to be able to fully comprehend the absence of the I.
Porque es importante saber la no hay yo.
Why is it important to understand the absence of the I or identity?
Porque queremos libertad.
Because we want freedom.
Porque identidad no permite liberación.
Because freedom does not allow liberation,
Como apego, ¿cierto?
like attachment.
Porque yo, mi cuerpo,
So my body,
mi mala,
my mala,
mi taza,
my cup,
todo mío, ¿cierto?
everything's mine.
Tratar quiere
And I
proteger.
want to protect it.
Es crítica a otro, ¿no?
And then and then someone else criticizes it.
También como la crítica o rechazo.
And then
¿no?
we aversion to other
Ese mío.
people's things. Like,
Oh,
that's
ese
not
no mío,
mine.
ese mío.
This
¿no?
is mine and that's not mine.
Dualidades.
So we create these dualities.
¿Y esa dualidad dónde viene?
And where do those dualities come from?
Identidad.
It comes from the identity,
Yo.
the I.
Por eso Nagarjuna usted escuchado, Nagarjuna.
So Nagarjuna
Mientras existe yo,
said that while I still exist,
existe dualidad,
there exists duality.
existe rechazo, apego,
There exists aversion and attachment.
existe karma,
Exists action, karma.
existe sufrimiento.
Exists suffering.
Viene, ¿no? No hay yo,
If there's no I,
somos unos.
then we're one.
Eso quiere decir nosotros profundamente nosotros buscamos, no va a encontrar eso.
So if we deeply investigate, we're not going to find a solid, infinite, solitary I.
Entonces, no, como autónomos, ¿no?
We're not going to find this autonomous
Algo
thing,
permanente.
something permanent.
No encuentra dentro de nosotros, ¿no?
So we can't even find it in ourselves.
Entonces, ahora mira, cultivando como la mente calma a través de meditation, varias técnicas, ¿cierto?
So we're cultivating the calm mind through these meditation techniques.
tenemos muchas técnicas hoy de
So
exceso,
there's so
¿no?
many
¿No?
techniques.
Con budismo, con fundamentales shamatas.
In
¿no?
Buddhism, the fundamental one is called shamatha.
Shamata, ¿no? Ese como calma mental.
That's like the
tranquilidad.
mental calmness.
Tu cuerpo es solta.
Your body, like
Fluir todo
your body
sangre,
kind
todo
of
seguro, ¿no?
relaxes, and all of your channels and chakras can flow easily.
Y también la para tal evitando nosotros cuerpo y mente como los ruidos externos.
And with the calmness and that clarity, we can avoid the inner and outer kind of loudness
¿No?
that distracts us.
Distracción, donde distracción, ¿no? Cosas, ¿no? Y como evitar poquito, ¿no?
And we can kind of avoid
Como lugar
that.
de silencio, como ahora Costa Rica,
So
¿no?
even like we can always have an inner silence that feels like we're always in Costa Rica.
Y eso ayuda mucho,
It
¿cierto?
helps a lot.
Pero no suficiente solo ahí durmiendo, por
But
ejemplo, ¿no?
it's
No suficiente solo dormimos en la bosque, por ejemplo. No
not
trabajo.
sufficient just to go to sleep in the forest.
Ahí tiene que trabajar,
We actually have to work it.
cultivar,
We have to
meditar,
cultivate it.
mucho más fácil,
We
¿no?
have it's a lot more easy.
Y ahí en la bosque, ya, yo cuerpo de bosque, retirado do ruido, pero el ruido interno sigue siguiendo, ¿no?
I could have my body could be in the forest and I could be fully away from all the loud noise, but my mind could be so loud.
¿No? Eso no está silencio.
So that's not silence.
Entonces, silencio externo, silencio interno, ¿cierto?
External and internal silence.
Pero más importante dentro.
What's most important is the inside.
Ya, tú no importa viviendo en Nueva York o Santiago de Chile o Sao Paulo.
You could live in
Yeah.
New York or Santiago, Chile or Sao Paulo, any of these loud places.
Todavía tú puedes hacer silencio.
But you could still be very silent.
Tú puedes hacer viviendo naturalista.
You could
¿no?
still be living in the true nature of your
Con la
mind.
calma,
The
la
calmness, the
conciencia.
patience.
No está siguiendo como la objeto
We
desagradable.
don't just keep like getting so attached to these like displeasing external circumstances.
Significa silencio, ¿no?
That means silence.
Muchas formas de meditación.
So there are many ways to meditate.
Es todo cultivar la calma.
All of it helps us to cultivate calmness.
Incluso tú muy estresado en trabajos, ¿no?
So you could be
Sistema,
so
¿no?
stressed with work,
También puedes tener calma ahí.
but you can also have calmness.
Dentro de mucho agitación puedes encontrar una calma, ¿no?
And in so much agitation, you could find calmness
Con la respiración. la
with
cuenta.
your breath.
O que tú digas, yo tengo muchas cosas a hacer acá, mira, ¿no?
You can say, I have all these things to do right
Tengo
now.
muchos
I have
prioritarios.
so many priorities.
¿Cómo puedes hacer?
What can I do?
Volver
And
explotando,
you're
¿no?
like exploding.
Inhalar, exhalar.
You inhale
Silencio.
and you silence your mind for a
Calma.
minute.
Mirar bien.
Look at it well.
¿Cuál más prioritario?
What's actually more priority?
Más como dentro de prioritario, otro
Within the
prioritario.
priorities, which one's the top priority?
Tú verás cuando
You
calmas,
can
¿no?
look at it from being calm.
Oh, ahora muy importante mi salud, calma.
Right now is very
Salud.
important my health.
Oh, salud, no sana salud,
If I'm not healthy,
no puede hacer nada.
then I can't do anything.
Ese es uno prioritario, ¿cierto?
It's priority.
Yo ese muy estresada, ¿qué va a
If
pasar?
I'm stressed, what's going to happen?
Afecta la salud.
It affects your health.
No puedes tener salud.
And then you can't feel healthy.
No puedes tener nada, ni trabajos.
And there'll be like, you won't have any work, anything.
Todo acumulamos dinero, energía,
We
y está
can-
como gastando,
We
¿no?
can we can work so much and so stressed. We accumulate the money and then we have to spend it at the doctor because we
Uno
weren't,
juega,
we
uno
weren't
juega,
calm
¿cierto?
enough. So it's just a game.
Trabaja duro, duro.
Walk so hard, so hard, so
24,
hard.
¿no?
Oh.
Después acumulo mucho
And
estrés.
then we
otras cosas, ¿no?
accumulate so much stress.
Ya, después vamos en
And then we return the money to the
O
doctor.
terapia, no sé, algo, no sé, como algo psicología, ¿no?
And we go to the psychologist.
Ya todo va
All of this.
de nuevo trabajar.
And then we keep working and working, working.
Eso no tiene sentido, ¿no?
It has no meaning.
Entonces, antes de venir eso puede hacer,
So
uno puede hacer
before that
responsable, ¿no?
comes, we gotta work it.
Tener semáforos.
We gotta find the stoplight.
Normalmente nosotros trabajamos sin semáforos, ¿no?
We're usually working without any sort of stoplight.
¿No? Eso es importante, ¿ya? Eso es uno de los recordados
Gotta
nosotros, ¿no?
remember that.
Es importante, ¿no? Ok. ¿Y cómo es importante yo más como sabiduría? ¿Cómo desarrollar sabiduría?
And how can we develop wisdom? So you talked about concentration. Now, how can we develop wisdom?
Sabiduría tiene dos sabidurías.
There's two types of wisdom.
Sabiduría externo, sabiduría interno, ¿cierto?
External wisdom and internal wisdom.
Sabiduría externo es importante, ¿cierto? Hoy
There's
ya sabemos.
external wisdom is
tu
important.
cosa. Sabe como Hoy de tecnología, esta sabiduría, ¿no?
So there's like technology. There's all these things to know about externally.
Mucha creatividad,
There's
¿no?
so much creative energy around.
Es sabiduría maravilloso,
And
¿no?
it's wonderful.
Muy lindos, ¿no?
It's beautiful.
Pero ojalá puede guiado por la mente altruista
But
mucho más
hopefully
buena,
all of
¿no?
those things are being guided by the altruistic mind, then it's more beneficial.
Porque tú solo usas esa sabiduría de fuera,
If you just occupy your mind with external wisdom,
no te es
it's
beneficioso.
not going to benefit so much.
Alguno puede dañar.
It can even be hurtful.
Por eso sabiduría interna es muy importante.
So that's why the internal wisdom is also important.
Sabiduría interna comprende la ley de la interdependencia.
The internal wisdom understands the law of interdependence.
Uno ver visión de más panorámica.
It's a very panoramic view.
¿Ok? No sabe de ver solo un lado.
Most
Solo
of the
ver.
time, we've got a very narrow view.
Solo ahí yo veo ese
I
lado,
see
¿no?
this side,
Voy a hacer trabajar acá, ¿ya?
so I need to work on this side.
Y ese lado dañando.
And then we're hurting something on another
No
on a
ver.
different angle.
Pero realmente intención pura también,
So,
¿no?
but really our intention is pure,
Pero falta sabiduría.
but it's lacking wisdom.
Irse más allá.
So we need to go a little higher
Ver
and
completamente.
see what's really
Oh,
going on all
yo
over
voy a hacer
around.
acá y acá puede dañar.
Oh, if I do
Ya.
this action, I'm going to be creating an impact here.
¿Es cuál mejor?
What's actually better?
Es puede salir una idea,
So
¿no?
then we can have some good ideas.
Que se llama comprensión, sabiduría
That's called
interior,
comprehension of inner wisdom,
interdependencia.
interdependence,
Ley de la causa.
understanding the law of cause and effect.
¿Y cómo llego a eso? ¿Cómo,
How
¿Dónde
do I
comienzo?
arrive there? Where do I start?
Tres.
There's three.
Sabiduría de escuchar y
The
estudiar.
wisdom of listening to the teachings.
Sabiduría de contemplar.
The wisdom of contemplating the teachings.
Sabiduría de familiarizar.
The wisdom of familiarizing or embodying, incorporating the teachings.
Un ejemplo.
I'll give you an example.
Alguna haga tiene uno sed, por ejemplo, mucho sed,
Somebody's thirsty,
pero no sabe.
but they
No sabe dónde da agua.
don't know where's the water.
Digo, oh, yo sed.
Someone says, I'm thirsty.
Ya necesita, primer
You
paso.
say, what do you need?
Escuchar.
You listen.
Sabiduría de escuchar.
The wisdom of listening.
Quiero escuchar dónde está agua.
Someone tell me, where is the water?
¿Cuál dirección?
What direction?
Porque me pregunta a Sharon.
So we could ask Sharon, where's the water?
No, ya. Por ejemplo, ya. Ella dice, agua está cocina, ya.
She says, water's in the kitchen.
Baño está arriba, ya.
And the bathroom's there.
Información.
So you got information.
¿Suficiente eso?
Is that sufficient?
Tú-
Does that actually get rid of your thirst?
Tú todavía tienes sed, ¿no?
So you're
No
still
quito.
thirsty.
No suficiente escuchar esa información, no permite.
It's not sufficient just to listen to the information. It doesn't get rid of the thirst.
Contaminando.
So then you contemplate by you walk towards
Caminando.
that direction.
Oh,
You
esa llama
contemplate.
contemplación.
That's called
Sabe
contemplation. The wisdom of contemplation.
Escuchar primero.
She listened.
Agua está
You're
cocina.
like, the water's in the kitchen.
Ok, voy
I'm
ahora.
gonna go in that direction.
Después llego.
And
Agua está
then
ahí.
you arrive.
Llego. ¿Suficiente?
Is that sufficient?
No.
No.
Todavía sed.
You're still thirsty.
Ahora qué tienen que hacer.
Now what do?
Agua ahí.
You gotta drink the water.
Tomar.
Okay.
Tomar.
All right, I drank it.
No sé.
That's not thirsty anymore.
Ya quito sed.
It get rid of the thirst.
Sabiduría de escuchar.
The wisdom of listening.
Escuchando la información de agua.
Listening to the information of the water.
Contemplación tuya mirando la agua.
Contemplation is you walk there and you like could see it.
Familiarizar significa incorporar.
Familiarize means embody it.
Tú tomas la agua.
Drink the water.
Ese paso de desarrollar la sabiduría.
That's actually the steps to integrate, embody wisdom. It's not intellectual anymore. You embodied it, incorporated it.
Es tres sabidurías.
Those are the three wisdoms.
Eso es muy importante. ¿Qué tienes que escuchar por caso?
So what do you
Que
need to
nosotros-
listen to?
¿Qué es Bodhicitta?
What is bodhicitta?
¿Qué es amor
What
incondicional?
is
¿Qué
unconditional
es
love?
compasión?
What is compassion?
Escuchar primero.
Listen to it, learn it,
Contemplar.
and then contemplate it.
Examinar.
Examine it.
No solo como la confiar Lama dice.
Don't just trust Lama. Think about it.
Tu propia sabiduría.
Look at, make it your own wisdom. Really
Yes.
contemplate what it means in your life.
Tener lógico.
What's the logic to this?
Ese es el lógico, ¿no?
Okay, this is
Ya.
logical.
Contempló.
Okay, I contemplated
Ahora
it.
va a poner
Now
familiarizar
I'm going to
meditación.
familiarize myself with it.
Práctica con eso.
I'm going to practice it.
Y tú llegaste.
And then you arrive. And practice it means like the situation came up that provoked us, and then we're like, oh, patience is what I'm practicing right now. Like, oh, we're practicing patience. Then we saw the result. Oh yeah, it actually calmed the situation. It made the other person happy, and it made myself happy. So bodhicitta, the mind that thinks of others, that's logical. It actually makes them happy and makes me happy. So we have to like really embody the wisdom and keep trying and practicing, refining it. And then when we notice the benefits, we have to tell ourselves that we notice the benefits, and becomes embodied wisdom. And that's the difference of like us like studying and sharing versus it like embodied in a person that can really share with someone. I know this information, I can help you.
¿Entendió? ¿Tiene sentido?
So does that have meaning? Does that make
¿Tiene
sense?
sentido?
Does that make sense to you?
Ok, pero i걸 examinando, ¿ya?
Keep examining it.
Porque yo le digo, ustedes sirven, digo yo, tú dígale, oh, yo tengo sed,
So again, you could say, I'm thirsty.
toma la agua.
So I can say, drink water.
Pero no sé dónde está esta agua, ¿no?
Yeah, but you still don't know where it is.
No suficiente eso, ¿no?
So it's not sufficient
Tú
this
digo,
way.
yo tengo mucha rabia,
You could say,
apego, miedo.
I'm so angry and I have so much attachment and fear.
Yo le digo, practica el amor y bodhicitta,
So I
¿no?
say, practice love and bodhicitta.
¿Cómo?
You're like, how?
Es difícil, ¿no?
That's where it's hard.
Por eso tiene paso, ¿verdad?
So there's steps.
Paso para llegar. ¿Cómo llegar
So how do you arrive?
a través de sabidurías?
Through the three wisdoms.
¿Entendió? Ok. Bien. Inhalar y exhalar profundamente.
Inhale and exhale deeply.
Inhalar por esa sabiduría.
Inhale the wisdom.
Exhalando, soltando
Exhale
tensiones.
and let go of the tension.
Liberando.
Liberate yourself.
3 veces haciendo.
Do that 3 times.
Sentir presencia.
Feel your presence.
Fermentando todo de sabiduría.
Allow it to ferment, allow it to percolate.
Reflexionando.
Reflect on it.
Contemplando.
Contemplate it.
Incorporándole.
Let it sink in
Sentir en corazón.
and feel it in your heart.
Solo da con la respiración.
Just acknowledge your breath.
Da cuenta. Yo estoy da cuenta.
Recognize that you're breathing.
Mi respiración normal.
Your normal breath.
Inhalando y exhalando profundamente.
Inhaling and exhaling deeply.
Sola.
And
Oh,
relax.
10 minutitos baño. ¿Está bien?
And now we'll take a 15-minute break.
Poquito baño, poquito
Go to
tira
the
la cuerpo.
restroom, stretch.
Pero siempre es importante mantener la conversación positiva.
But please maintain your meaningful
¿Ya?
conversations.
Como reflexionando.
Utilize this time to reflect with each other.
¿Ya? Ok. Entonces,
And I'll
10
ring
minutos
I'll ring the
regresa.
bell 3 times when we're coming back.
Ok, thank you. Thank you. Ahora vamos a hacer pequeño tarea.
So now we're gonna do a little activity.
Ya poquito, tarea como de actividad. Y entonces, siempre es importante, nos hablamos siempre, ¿no? Cada 2 perfecciones, ¿no?
So we did this with the other perfections as well.
Entonces, es importante nosotros observar, identificar cuál perfección de caso de hoy, ¿no? La
So-
concentración o sabiduría, ¿cuál más, cómo se llama? Desequilibrado, digamos.
In the case
falta.
of the two perfections that we're talking about today, concentration and wisdom, which one am I lacking in a little?
Para desarrollar.
Which one do I need to
No.
develop more?
Claro, nosotros tenemos que desarrollar 6 perfecciones,
Of course, we need to develop all 6.
Pero más, algo más uno necesita trabajar,
But one
¿no?
we need to focus on more.
Ya. A veces necesita más concentración.
Sometimes we need
más
more
calma, ¿no?
concentration and calmness.
Porque a veces nosotros enfocamos mucho cosas
Sometimes
y
we're
olvida
focused
la
on
cosa
so much that we get
y
confused and
no realiza la cosa.
forget, and then we don't even achieve what we're out to
Entonces,
achieve.
Y esa falta de
The
concentración,
lack
¿no?
of concentration.
Entonces, eso es muy importante. A veces nosotros, por ejemplo, la falta de sabiduría, ¿no?
And then sometimes we're lacking wisdom.
Sabiduría a veces, por ejemplo, buena intención
We've
te
got maybe
puede dañar a
good
veces, ¿no?
intentions, but maybe we're kind of hurting people on accident.
Porque falta de algo,
'Cause
entendimientos,
We're
¿no?
not understanding like the causes of certain seeds, or
No.
we're not very skillful in the way we deliver.
Entonces, ideal como siempre, 6 perfecciones inseparables,
So the
¿no?
6 perfections are actually inseparable.
Es fundamental para cultivar la conducta de Bodhisattva.
It's really fundamental in order to perfect the conduct of a bodhisattva.
Normalmente, una comunicación puede hacer eso.
It
Una
actually just
comunicación.
in one session of communicating with someone, you could have all 6.
Primero, por ejemplo, comunicando a una persona,
So first you're communicating with somebody,
dar tiempo,
you give them time.
abre la mente,
So
corazón.
you open
No.
your mind.
Se llama
That's
generosidad.
called generosity.
Una comunicación.
Just in one communication.
Luego que necesita,
Then what do you need?
mismo
In
comunicación,
the same session of communicating,
necesita moral,
you need to have your moral discipline.
disciplina, como respeto, significa,
Respect is what that
¿no?
means.
No puede hacer cosas
You
negativas,
can't be
¿no?
doing negative things there.
Conducta buena, intención
You want to
buena,
have
¿cierto?
good conduct and good
Oh,
intention.
ya. Después necesita la paciencia, ¿sí?
Then you also need patience.
Escuchar a la persona que está hablando, ¿no?
Listen to what the other person is saying
Como amorosamente,
lovingly.
porque a veces la persona no entiende,
Maybe the
¿no?
person doesn't understand.
Y eso se llama la paciencia,
That's called patience,
tolerancia. ¿sí?
tolerance.
Después necesita motivación,
Then we need motivation
esfuerzo, ¿no?
and effort
Esfuerzo, virtud,
and virtue.
¿ya? Como está esforzando a hablar a esa persona, con
So
motivados,
you
¿no?
you're motivated to speak with this person.
Después necesita concentración.
Then we need to concentrate.
No miramos si lo...
We're not looking at our cell phone while we're
Okay,
talking to
sí.
somebody.
Sí, no bueno eso,
It's
¿no?
not good to do that.
Estoy tiempo para ti acá,
I'm giving you time fully.
Hablando, ¿no?
I'm fully present for you.
con mindfulness,
So
¿no?
there's mindfulness there.
Ahí necesita una sabiduría.
And then we need wisdom.
Una conversación puede ser uno cultivar la causa problemas.
A conversation could cultivate problems.
Entonces es importante sabiduría.
So you need to have wisdom
Y como skillful means, ¿no?
and skillful means.
Como algo que es realmente importante eso, ¿no?
So it's very important.
6 perfecciones.
Those are all the 6 perfections in one conversation.
Uno con una acción. Una
One-
acción, 6 perfecciones.
It's one act that has all the perfections in that action.
¿Cierto? Eso es súper muy importante.
It's very important,
Fundamental eso, ¿ya?
fundamental
Para desarrollar cualidad humana.
to develop our full potential as a human.
¿Ya? Ok. Ahora usted de tarea, ¿cuál es?
So now you have
Concentración y sabiduría.
so now we're looking specifically at concentration and wisdom.
Y entonces tenemos 10 minutos
So
cada persona.
we're actually, each person's going to have 10 minutes to speak.
Yeah.
You're going to get in partners.
All
They're each going to have 10 minutes. One's going to be able to speak, and another one listens with deep mindfulness.
Y ella va a tocar eso.
Then I'm going to touch the bell,
Cambiar.
and then we change. The other person gets to speak while the other person deeply listens.
Escuchar solo, escuchar,
So
¿no?
listen with your
Palabra.
full mindfulness.
Eso ayuda también a aprenderte.
This
algo.
helps us when we share, we learn something about ourselves as well.
Oh, ya. Eso se llama como la familia de Dharma.
So that's
¿no?
called the Dharma family.
Todos vamos a crecer.
We grow
juntos, ¿no?
together.
Oh, ya. Bien. Vamos.
So again, the question that you're going to ask yourself is, of the two, concentration and wisdom, which one do I need to work on more? And then maybe like consider like an actionable step of how you could actually start to implement it in your life. Okay?
Okay.
So you have 10 minutes each.
Okay.
So ding ding.
Okay.
Okay. Hope you
Inhalando,
enjoyed your
exhalando.
precious Sangha time.
Inhalando, exhalando.
Taking a big deep breath in.
Y poco a poco sereno.
And
Poco a poco sereno las conversaciones.
And closing the conversation and coming back to yourself.
Bien. Maravilloso.
Marvelous.
Oh, yeah. Pura vida.
Pura vida.
Ahora vamos a abrir algunas preguntas.
So now we're going to open it up to question and answer. Ask
Yeah.
the Lama time.
Ok. Ya, hermano, primero.
Yeah.
Going back to a talk maybe a month or so ago about the Bodhicitta. So I'm curious if you can provide more insight into the second generosity of life-saving.
Mm.
I understand the acts of service and gifts, and also the embodiment of the Dharma as an example for people. Those are things that you can do at any time, whereas it feels like the life-saving component is something that is an opportunistic. I'm wondering if there is a way that you can express that at any time.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to repeat the question so it's on the mic on this one too. So just about a month or two ago when you were sharing, Lama, about the first paramita of generosity, I understand what it means to have like generosity of sharing like resources and sharing abundance, and I also understand what it means to be able to embody and share the Dharma as generosity. But it seems like the second one, which is the generosity of saving lives, that seems like a really particular opportunity that maybe isn't always there. So I'm curious if there's like ways to enact that even more. Como está hablando de las tres generosidades y una es para salvar la vida.
Ya, eso.
Entonces está preguntando, típicamente como no es como raros casos que puedes salvar una vida. Entonces puedes explicar esto un poco más.
Ya. Ya, generosidad, ok. Salvar la vida. Salvar la vida, muchas formas, ¿cierto?
You can save lives in many ways.
Vidas. ¿Qué significa vida?
What does it mean, life?
Vida significa tener conciencia, ¿no?
Anything that has consciousness.
Conciencia, ¿cierto? Esa vida. Salvar la vida significa incluso puede nosotros, nuestra mente no diga en la turbulencia.
So it also means like don't allowing your mind to stay in turbulence.
Entonces cuando nosotros pues, contaminamos la mente, ¿cierto?
When our mind is contaminated,
igual muerto, ¿no?
you're kind of dead.
Y entonces no vida.
You're not
no
really alive.
¿no?
You're not conscious.
Entonces cuando está tiene conciencia,
So when you have consciousness,
es vida.
there's life.
Oh, y entonces salvar con primero, ¿no?
So saving lives.
Tiene muchas formas de salvar las vidas, ¿no? Muchas formas de salvar las
There's
vidas.
a lot of forms
¿no?
to save lives.
Los animales,
Animals,
o puede ser los humanos,
even
¿no?
humans.
Algunos peligrosos, ¿no?
There are things that are in danger.
Viene refugio, por favor, me
They
ayuda.
take refuge,
Y entonces tú puedes ayudar,
and
como
you help
puedes
them,
salvar,
and
¿no?
you can save them.
Y nosotros tratamos de salvar a nosotros los árboles, por
We should
ejemplo,
try to save the trees
como la naturaleza, ¿no? Ambientes, ¿no?
and,
Tratar, ¿no?
the nature.
Y tratar de salvar a los insectos,
And the
cualquiera, ¿no?
insects.
También salvamos vidas, ¿no?
That also saves lives.
Y ahí tiene muchas salvaformas,
There's a
¿no?
lot of ways to save
No.
lives.
Eso. Entonces, beneficio ese nos hace más como saludable y larga
The
vida,
benefit is that we have a longer life and good health.
¿no? Porque a veces nosotros pensamos generosidad, ¿no? Yo también pensaba solo algo material dar,
A
¿no?
lot of times we think generosity means just giving materially.
Entonces, Milarewa definió verdadero generosidad es desapegar identidad.
Milarepa said the greatest generosity is to detach from your ego.
Esa generosidad
That's
es mismo, ¿no?
generous.
Porque no tiene como la aferramiento, ¿no?
Because if we don't have this grasping,
Todo generosidad.
all of it's
¿Qué
generosity.
tú sientes?
Everything is for others.
¿Qué tú sientes?
Then what do you feel?
Abundancia.
You feel abundant.
¿Cuándo está desapego,
When
no?
you're detached.
Cuando tú sientes el apego, ¿qué
When you
sientes?
feel attachment, what do you feel?
No importa cuánto material tenga, ¿no?
Doesn't matter how much material you have.
Todavía siente como miserable,
You
¿no?
still feel miserable.
Como falta
You
todavía
feel like
falta,
you're
¿no?
always lacking.
¿No? Entonces, eso es diferencia, ¿no?
So that's the difference.
Todo dentro, ¿verdad?
All of
Dentro,
it's on the inside.
dentro, ¿no? Y eso.
I feel like in Costa Rica you can like save like 1,000 lives a day.
Yes.
Literally. Yeah, the ants. Turn on a candle. As soon as it gets dusk, turn your candles off immediately.
Ya, mucho, ¿no? Por eso pura vida, ¿sí, no? Vida, mucha vida, ¿no?
Because there's a lot of life here.
Ya, claro, normalmente es difícil eso, ¿no?
It's pretty hard.
Pero nosotros, máximo posible
We
puede
can do
hacer,
the best that we can.
¿no? Sacar alguna inteligente, uno,
Yeah,
¿no?
like an intelligent
puede
way, you
hacer.
know, like very calmly, like, okay, like help this being
Yo
outside
también-
again.
Yo también matando mucho.
Yeah,
¿no?
we accidentally kill things all the time.
Mucho,
here.
no puede a veces
You're like eating and it gets stuck in your sauce or something. Like, oh, we can help you.
Una vez un amigo mío en Brasil, ¿no? Manejando la auto, ¿no? Y él dijo, Lama, ahí tiene muchas hormigas chaco. Y él parado, el auto.
Porque en la fila de...
Sí,
My friend was in Brazil and he's driving. There's like one of those really long ant lines happening, and he's like stopped in his car. He's like, "What do I do?"
¿no? Ahora, ¿no? Ahí yo voy a hacer mientras, Lama, voy a asumir eso, karma, ¿no?
Lama said, "I'll take the karma for this one."
No. Es como, rivide, mane pe mi
I'll
hung.
just say, "Oh, man,
Mane pe mi hung. Rina sir tierra pura.
may they be reborn in the Pure Land."
Tierra pura. Vamos, no.
And then in that case, we had to keep going.
Algo, ¿no? Alguna función eso, ¿no? Tiene que hacer, ¿no?
Okay. Sometimes there's nothing you can do except pray.
Por ahí muy importante nuestra intención.
But really,
Intención.
like utilize your intention, your
Y con la-
mindfulness. When you
con la
can,
mantra.
always help a being.
¿No?
Always
Con la
help a being
mantra.
to live.
Tu rina se mejor.
May it be reborn in a good way. Like
Porque
always.
ellos muy confundidos a veces, ¿no?
Sometimes the insects and animals are confused. Their body has a limited brain. The brain and the heart are limited, so its perception is limited, and we need to be able to help them.
Pero yo pregunto, ¿es ellos dole o no dole?
But do they hurt or do they not hurt?
Dole.
They hurt. They
Cualquiera
experience
movimiento no
pain.
dole.
Anything that moves experience pain.
Entonces hay diferentes niveles de conciencia,
There's
budismo,
levels
¿no?
of consciousness.
Pues no, humano más sensible.
The humans are the most sensitive, like
Y
they're
como
the
perro,
perceptive.
gato y es
Then you also
sensible.
have like animals like that are close
Muy-
to us, like dogs and
muy-
cats and cows and things that are very perceptive.
Hay los bajo,
And
poco
then it
menos,
continues
menos
to go
dolor,
in different
menos
kind of
dolor.
levels,
Pero igual dole.
but they still experience pain.
Nivel de conciencia, ¿no?
Those are the levels.
No, okay.
Mhm.
Entonces estaré atento haciendo eso, ¿no?
So we try to do that. One thing that I think is very hopeful that I really love, they say that like the power of connecting with the Dharma is so powerful. To connect with the Dharma and like that expansiveness of love and the enlightened teachings. And so I like to imagine like when a bug just happens to land on this body, I'm like, oh, mani padme hum. You know, like may that be your connection to the Dharma for your next life, you know, to continue. So you can like any kind of being that you, or cats or dogs or anything, like they are getting, maybe it could be for the first time in their entire like span of consciousness that they met the Dharma, and because you're a vehicle of the Dharma. And so it's really nice to like really be able to offer that blessing. And to anyone that we meet in the road too, like any sorts of connections that happen, we can always bless them. Like maybe the conditions are not perfect for them to learn the Dharma right now, but any person that we meet with, that might just be their first little touch. In the next life, they could have the conditions to actually learn and listen to the teachings.
Gracias, hermano. Gracias.
Thank you. You have a question too, and then I'll go there.
Just to follow up with that theme, I live on the land, and there's lots of living creatures on the land. And I can observe some of the creatures killing off other creatures. But in particular, because we had insects killing off plants.
Mhm.
And these plants are food for people, they're food for other animals. What would be the right choice in the human approach to just leave them to what they do, it's what they do? Or is there a role for a human being to step in and say, I'll take the karma for this one and preserve this use over this one?
Por ejemplo, I'm going to repeat the question here. So I live on the land with many animals and insects, and I notice certain species like kind of killing off other species, and particularly certain insects that are kind of really like killing other plants, and that may have been a use for food for other beings. So in that case, when does a human that has this wisdom need to like step in and decide like what to do, or do we just allow it to be, or what's kind of the wisdom here, the suggestion? Entonces está preguntando justo como los insectos que comen las comidas y cosas.
Ya entiendo.
Yo para ayudar. En eso, te puedo ayudar en eso.
Eso es más difícil, ¿no?
That's a hard one.
¿No? Generalmente los dos vidas, ¿cierto? Eso,
Generally, they're both are life,
es dos vidas.
and they both have life.
Yo quiero salvar apego, eso no importa, por ejemplo, ¿no?
So through our attachments, we decide which ones we want to save.
Entonces, ahí tiene que ver la balancear, ¿no?
So we have to look
No,
at balance.
Tal vez no, como puede sacar algunas técnicas como puede hacer proteger, ¿no?
Maybe there's ways to protect it, techniques.
Alguna este bicho no gusta tendo la otra plantas, ¿no?
Maybe those animals prefer certain plants over others.
Entonces él va poco a poco, ¿no?
So little by little, you could generously plant more of the ones that they like.
Y eso en la trabajo a tierra poco complicado a veces.
It's a
poquito,
little
¿no? Para
complicated
mucho vivo, muchos
because
seres,
there's
¿no?
so much life.
Uno salvamos, uno pierde, ¿no?
One you
¿no?
save, another one you lose.
Pero seguir haciendo mente positiva,
We-
porque puede ese planta comida puede servir muchos humanos puede vivir, ¿no?
And then certain food can be like for humans and can help a lot of humans.
Una de las cosas nosotros pensamos más profundo, ¿no?
We can also think more deeply.
Y ese planeta Tierra
This is the earth.
pertenece a todos los seres
The
vivos,
earth
generalmente.
pertains to all beings.
Generalmente, ¿cierto? Eso todo tiene derecho o
And
no.
they all have rights.
Ya, por ejemplo, eso es importante sentir primero, ¿no?
We really have to feel that.
Honestamente,
And
¿no?
honestly.
Yo siento eso, por ejemplo,
So
¿no?
I feel that.
Entonces, en la montaña yo no estaba, yo viví tranquilamente, ¿no?
Before I was in the mountain, these animals lived very tranquil there.
Tiene su casa. y
They
todo,
had their
¿no?
house, their food.
Luego yo vengo ahí,
And then I came there
yo entro a su casa.
and I entered their house.
Pasarle,
And I
sí.
started getting them, asked them to leave.
Por ejemplo, ¿no? Entonces, también todo el mundo tiene derecho de vivir ahí,
We all
¿no?
have rights to live.
Y es muy personal. Eso
That's
sí,
my
¿no?
personal thoughts.
No, como no. Entonces, ahí ahora más resumido, yo creo, no tengo respuesta
I
muy
don't
clara,
have an
¿no?
exact answer to
Eso
give you.
voy a hacer, pero trata haga algunas, como llaman, inteligente.
So try to
¿Cómo-
be as wise
¿Cómo
as you
puede
can
salvar
about it.
eso, no?
How can I try to protect this?
Que no puede dañar a eso,
That
no,
they
no
also
necesariamente,
then
¿no?
also protect this.
Puede hacer uno hoy de mundo moderno,
Yeah,
¿no?
there's a lot
Muchas
of things
cosas,
that can be done.
algo puede hacer.
A lot of times,
Poniendo la, ¿cómo llama? Como ceniza poniendo. aquí,
yeah,
¿no?
like there's different techniques. Like, and we're looking at it right now too. We're working on it. But there's techniques where, I mean, and I have to keep practicing. I can't be like, this is the right recipe. But what we're working with is, you can work with ash. Ash is one of them, and different, like, they're called like bios in Spanish, where you do like comfrey teas and these other teas. So usually when insects are going for plants, it's because there's an imbalance of sugar in your plant. The sugars are all at the top, so they're super sweet and attractive to the plants. And there's not a balance of sugar down in its roots. And so it needs more nutrition. Actually, it needs, like, the soil itself needs to be more nutritious. And then within that, I mean, that's one way to work with it. And then also, like, in working with the natural biodiversity, like, notice in your particular forest, those leafcutter ants, which natural trees and plants are they going for, right?
Todos.
Everything. So plant it all. So then, yeah, finding like what it's going for. And then you can actually start to observe, all right, so plant more of those around the food that I'm planting so that they go for their like natural habitat preference plant and don't go for this one. And it takes some creativity, but we have to have it in our mind that that's what we're aiming for and be able to, do like trial and error and like really try. But if we're just like, I want the easy way and I'm just going to plan to kill them, then that's what we chose, But if we like are like patient and we're like, okay, let me see how I can work with this habitat and really like listen and be more keen to what's going on in this particular habitat, I think that we can each find solutions. And there's so many epic kind of permaculture places around here. I can guarantee that there are people that have solutions that we just probably haven't asked yet, I mean, I feel like Costa Rica is like top of the line on pioneering different eco everythings,
Ya, bien. Sigue pensando ese tema,
Yeah,
¿ya?
let us know when you
Sigue
find the
eso
solution.
todo, ¿no?
Send us an email.
Todos no son lo mismo, y está mal,
So I'll get
¿no?
on the newsletter.
No, ya, ok.
You had a question too.
I wonder what actually happened with the labor, because it's the same thing, and I termites eating your cabinets and your furniture, etc. If you use the right wood, but those kind of things. So I think you probably answered that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, do the best you can. I mean, bugs that bite you, blow them off. That's the best you can do. Blow them off. Oh my, pet me home, woo. And then yeah, like the other ones, just I think we each different live in different microclimates. We need to figure out like what works and use the wisdom of being a human to like do the best that we absolutely can, and really just try. And we're not going to be perfect at everything. She had one too.
Alguna, mira, una cosa antes de eso. Algunos normalmente animales como es absorbiendo nosotros compassion.
Most of the time, these insects and animals can be manifestations of bodhisattvas actually testing our love and compassion.
Uno maestro se llama Asanga, se llama.
There was a master called Asanga.
Meditó muchos años.
He meditated for many years
Amor y compasión,
on love and compassion.
Nunca funcionó
And
mucho,
it never worked.
Meditation no
He
funcionó.
was like, this is not working.
Y entonces él quiere ver la Buda Maitreya.
And so he went to go visit Buddha Maitreya.
Nunca vio.
And he could never see Buddha Maitreya.
Finalmente, ¿qué pasó? Él va caminando ya
So
en la calle.
he's walking in the street.
Poco de fruta.
And he was like frustrated.
No funcionó.
Not working.
Caminando.
So he was walking.
Uno pero.
And there was a dog.
Pero vivo tiene como la
all these
herida.
Wounds on it.
Tiene mucho insecto.
And it was just like the insects on the wounds. It was a bad situation.
En la camino.
In the path.
¿Qué vamos a hacer ahora?
And then he's like, what's he gonna do here?
Si saca mano, y se va a morir, ¿cierto?
Oh, like if he would help. Oh, this is fun. If he were gonna help. Oh, this is fun. If he would try to like help the dog, then he's gonna be, impacting the lives of all those other insects.
Otro animal muere, ¿no?
And then the other ones die.
Pero como dog salva,
But then
¿no?
the dog, you want to save the dog.
Y también él, como ese, de muy sensible insecto, ¿no? Como gusano.
Like the insects could die so easily.
Ahora,
What do you
¿cómo puede
do?
hacer?
So what do you do?
Dice que él tiene varias historias. Dice él, ese momento sintió compasión.
In that moment, he felt such a deep compassion.
Ahora él digo, voy a sacar mi lengua.
Gross. Okay. Oh, sorry. I said that out loud. My bad. He said, I'm going to do this with my tongue.
Porque es muy suave.
Because it's soft.
No va a matar.
And it won't kill anything.
Ojos cerrados y él.
Close his eyes.
Saca, ¿eh?
And he did that.
Cuando abrió,
When he opened it,
Buda Maitreya.
it was Buddha Maitreya.
No, pero.
It was no dog.
Porque él dijo, ¿por qué pasó eso ahora?
Why did this happen in that moment?
Yo siempre contigo.
I've always been with you.
No vemos tú, como la llama, como
But
una
you
cortina
can't
de
see me
ego, ¿no?
because of the curtain
Oscuraciones.
of your obscuration, your ego.
Yo siempre contigo ahí,
I've
¿no?
always been with you.
Ahora tú, compasión,
Now you had the level of compassion to be able to see me.
ahí, ¿no? Y entonces eso, ¿no? Una compasión, ¿no?
And so like that's the level of compassion.
Cuando ya abrió,
So when
no,
he
pero
opened, there was no dog.
es un potencial, ¿no?
That's the
A veces
potential.
sucede eso, ¿no?
And this happens sometimes.
A ver los animales, oh, siendo gran
We
bodhisattva.
feel like we
Bodhisattva.
can see animals and see this is a great bodhisattva.
Nunca sabemos, ¿no? Porque
never
bodhisattva normalmente no depende de la forma, ¿no?
The bodhisattva sometimes it doesn't depend on form.
Realmente necesita persona despertar, ¿no?
Whatever
Algo.
beings need to
¿no?
wake up, they will manifest in that way.
Ahí muestra algo, ¿no?
They'll show you that experience.
¿No? Y eso, buena, ¿no? Y ese
So that's
pensamiento
good
uno.
news. You have any question?
I want to circle back to what we just talked about, concentration and wisdom. My husband and I both chose concentration with the hopes that wisdom will then follow once we get better at that.
Uh-huh.
We recognize that we are polar opposites when it comes to concentration. We'll contemplate things that we need to do separately and together. I have a tendency to concentrate for a limited amount of time before contemplating something else that also requires my concentration, thereby taking me out of that current concentration. Whereas my husband has laser focus on whatever it is he's concentrating on, so much so that an asteroid could hit him, and everything falls away when he's laser focused. So how do we more healthfully concentrate?
So I'll just repeat that here. No, it's a pregunta. she want to circle back to the aspects of concentration and wisdom, and we were discussing that concentration is the one that we both chose, and we recognize that we are polar opposites in what we in the way that we concentrate. I concentrate fully on what I'm doing, but very quickly can switch themes and go to the next thing that needs my concentration. So I kind of can do that rapidly, whereas my husband can be fully concentrated on one thing and an asteroid can hit him and he will still be concentrated on it. And so we have different ways of concentrating, and I would like to know what kind of information you can give us so that we can more fully practice concentration.
¿Cómo más? Uno resumido.
Ellos practican, ellos los dos han elegido concentración.
Concentración.
Ella concentra en una sola cosa, pero después como muy rápido puede cambiar el chip y concentrar en otro y concentrar en otro. Donde él puede concentrar en una sola hasta que alguien puede pegar a él y él todavía va a estar ahí. Entonces ella quiere saber cómo puede practicar concentración mejor.
Lindo. Y eso significa buena pareja, ¿no?
Well, it means that y'all are very compatible.
¿No? Eso es buena como aprende uno con otros, ¿no?
It means you can learn from each other.
Diferentes
Because you
sabidurías.
got different wisdom.
Los dos están bien, yo
And
creo,
both
¿no?
are very good.
Y los dos maravillosos, ¿no?
And
Como,
both are marvelous.
ya, como es importante equilibrar también, ¿no?
So it's good to balance.
Mucho como entramos, mucho profundo también. Por supuesto, por ejemplo, bien concentrado, cosa algo. Igual a veces, ¿cómo puede ser?
It
Impermanencia,
could be
bien, ¿no?
dull. It's, yeah.
¿Cierto? Impermanencia, cosas.
Uh-huh.
Comprende las impermanencias, ¿no? Tampoco no puede ser permanente como algo esto, ¿no?
So if we have that really kind of laser focus of concentration, we also need to understand impermanence. So just a little background. Everything's about finding the middle way. So if we're too far in any extreme of anything, we need to find the middle way. So that's why he's saying it's very compatible. And he's saying if you're in the laser focus, one of the balances is understanding impermanence. Because if you're so concentrated on this thing, you think it has to come to fruition this way, and then it changes, it kind of trips you out. So you like have to understand impermanence.
A veces puede confundir con la poca de apego
We
también,
can
¿no?
get
Con la-
that
solo-
laser focus can be confused with attachment,
Y es también mucho eso puede limitar también,
and
¿no?
it can be very limited.
Ahí tiene como balancear eso,
So we
¿no?
gotta
Jugar,
balance
¿no?
it. Always balance.
Eso es importante. Y concentración, normalmente concentración es como calma, profundamente
So
calma.
really, concentration has a
Calma.
aspect of calmness to it.
Ese fundamental requiere, ¿no?
That it fundamentally requires that.
Ya, eso.
Y la otra concentración de la señora que cambia con.
Por eso equilibrar. Y él puede poquito los dos. Porque mucho cambia no va a realizar, ¿no? Cambiando mucho
yeah.
tampoco
Then
no puede.
when you can concentrate on thing, but you can keep changing gears too much, then you don't achieve anything
No.
because it's also can be distracted.
¿Entendió? Y entonces los dos tienen equilibrar perfecto.
So
Ustedes dos,
you both can learn from each other, like to really find the balance.
una hay eso poquito, porque los dos agregamos, ¿no? Unir sabiduría
So
de arco
yeah, uniting like the wisdoms of
Yeah.
the rainbow.
equilibrar.
Can I add something
Yeah.
with this? Sometimes to be able to do what he's talking about, you need to figure out how to view the difference as a gift. If you view the differences as gifts, then there's the movement that he's talking about there.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So that takes some work though. That takes some work because the other person is so different, and in our polarized thinking, we think that they're wrong and we're right in how we do this.
No way.
And that's really
No.
but actually you are given toward the balance. I was glad you said exactly what you said. That makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeff.
I noticed in my life that it can be easy sometimes for me to make bad choices instead of better choices, less good choices. So I can play games on my phone too much instead of meditating. One thing that really inspires me about Roger is his joy and like joyful work. So I guess I'm looking for tips on how to make it more enjoyable, how to find more joy for myself in doing those things that are higher quality for myself.
That's a very cool question.
I'm going to ask that on the mic too. So he's saying it can be very easy for me to make bad decisions instead of good decisions, such as I could maybe spend more time playing games than actually meditating. And one of the things that I really admire about Lama Dorje is that he's very joyful at what he does. So I'm curious of how to cultivate more joyful meditation in the quality actions that I could be taking in life. Como quieres saber, él admira a ti mucho porque tú siempre tienes alegría. Entonces, él a veces puede hacer malas decisiones, como puede tomar más tiempo por juegos y menos tiempo por meditación. Entonces, cómo él mismo puede cultivar más alegría en buenas calidades de decisiones, como buenas acciones, virtudes, meditación.
Maravilloso. Maravilloso. Yo estoy tratando mi vida, ¿no?
Yeah, I try to do that in life.
A veces no es difícil, ¿no? Somos humanos,
But
¿no?
sometimes it can be hard because we're human.
Ya, eso. Pero es importante, yo, por ejemplo, eso, desde pequeño, siento, reconocer preciosas vidas humanas.
So it's very recognize precious human life.
Eso yo he cambiado vida.
This changed my life.
Como reconocer.
Like recognize it.
¿Cuál es el precioso vida humana? ¿Qué significa
what
eso?
is a precious human life and what does it mean?
Que tiene un potencial, ¿no?
It's got potential.
Fundamental, tiene maravilloso corazón.
We have
¿no?
a marvelous heart
Que puede amar, embarca todos los seres vivos,
that
¿no?
can embark all living beings.
Y esa máquina nosotros tiene
This is the machine that we have,
una joya, ¿no?
the jewel.
Otro, nosotros tenemos unos maravillosos cerebros, ¿no?
And the other one is we have a marvelous brain
Que puede comprender todos, ¿no?
that can understand everything.
Pequeño, detallado, chiquitito, dibujos, ¿no?
It's-
Humano hizo.
It's we've got all these details, these things that we create.
Aviones como
We've
tecnología,
created
¿no?
airplanes and technology.
Maravilloso,
It's
¿cierto?
pretty
Eso.
wild and
Y
amazing.
ese potencial tiene nosotros.
We have the potential to do things like that as humans.
Si uno aprende, puede, todo puede. No digas, oh, yo no puedo.
And if you
Usted puede.
learn, then you can literally do anything.
¿Entendió? Y eso para mí es importante reconocer.
And it's very important to recognize
Yo
that.
soy ese precioso vida humanos, ¿no?
I have this precious human life.
Segundo parte importante, después de tú reconoces vida preciosa,
Then recognize, after you recognize this,
reconoces su propósito.
recognize the purpose of that life.
Y tú reconoces su misión.
And then you recognize your mission.
Tú no reconocer
If you
su
don't
vida,
recognize your life,
es muy difícil el propósito.
it's very difficult to recognize the purpose,
Misión, ¿no?
the mission.
Y porque el amador, por ejemplo,
So,
¿no?
for example, myself,
Desde pequeño yo tengo esa de conciencia, ¿no?
from a very small, since I've been young, I have this
Y un sentimiento,
consciousness,
oh, esa vida preciosa es
this
importante.
very precious
Mi
life.
maestro habla
My
siempre
teacher
eso, ¿no?
told me that.
¿No? Es un favorable, una favorable condition
Very
favorable.
favorable circumstances.
O es utilizar bien. ¿no?
Utilize it well.
Tú eres Buda, ¿no?
You are a Buddha.
Tú eres Bodhisattva,
You
¿no?
are a bodhisattva.
Tú tienes cualidad,
You've
¿no?
got this quality.
Eso ya he escuchado muchas veces, ¿no?
I've heard that so many times.
Ya. Después, ¿cuál es mi misión?
So
¿no?
then what's your mission?
Ayuda para otros.
To
¿no?
help others.
¿Cuál es mi propósito?
What is my purpose?
Ser feliz.
To be happy.
Mejor personas,
That's
¿no?
it, to be happy and to be the best
Tanto tú
person I
mismo
can
los
be.
demás.
So yourself and others.
Para ser feliz que necesidad, ¿no?
So to be happy, then what do you need?
Despertar la
You need
conciencia. ¿no?
wake up the consciousness
Camino despertar, ¿no?
and the path of awakening.
Y practicando la Dharma, ¿no?
And practice the Dharma.
Una de las cosas, Lama siempre digo, cambiado, secreto ese, cuando hizo retiro.
So one of the big secrets is retreat.
Teórica no cambia tanto, ¿no?
Theory doesn't change a lot.
Seguir escuchando agua de
You
cocina.
can keep listening to the fact that the water's in the kitchen,
Pero todavía mucho sed de
but you're
sufrimiento,
still
¿no?
thirsty.
Después yo voy a cocina, agarro la agua,
So you gotta go to the kitchen and drink the water.
ese es un retiro.
That's called retreat.
Realmente incorporando, ¿no?
Incorporate it.
Tú tomando realmente agua.
So drink the water.
Eso como retiro, meditation, una
This is
práctica,
a
¿no?
meditation retreat.
Y
practice.
eso va a cambiar de
That
poco a poco.
changes little by little.
Entonces, por eso nada así de sin expectativa.
So without expectation,
Entonces, sentir confianza, ¿no?
feel that trust
Sigue voy a hacer siguiendo el camino correcto
and keep following the right path,
y va a llegar,
and you will arrive.
¿no? Y meditation fundamental,
And
¿no?
meditation is fundamental.
Una de las cosas, la mañana es importante, desperta, ¿no?
It's
Desperta.
nice when you wake up in the morning.
Oh, estoy vivo,
I'm alive.
un día más,
I have
vivo
one
en la
day
tierra,
more alive
con
on
la
earth
respiración,
with breath,
agradecer tu vida,
give thanks to life.
agradecer tu padres,
Give
¿no?
thanks to your parents,
Familia, ¿no?
your family.
Como generar la mente bodhicitta
Generate the mind of bodhicitta
en la mañana,
in the
¿no?
morning.
Eso todo influencia todo el día.
That influences the entire day.
Hoy día voy a hacer mejor día.
Today I'm going to make it
Oh, yeah.
best day
Poner positivo.
And make it
la mente positiva,
positive.
alegría.
and happy.
Entonces no nace tendo pasado, futuro, ¿no? Así que, ¿no?
Don't always just
Yeah.
get stuck in those thoughts of the past and the future.
Uno de los sufrimientos sobre los humanos se llama retok, se llama
There's
retok.
a deep suffering that humans experience called retok.
¿Qué significa?
Re
Re significa expectativa.
is expectations,
Apego con eso, ¿no?
attachments to our expectations,
Futuro.
with expecting the future.
Tok, ¿qué significa? Tok.
Tok
Miedo.
means fear.
Miedo, duda.
We're doubtful. Am I
Pues,
going to achieve that?
Tal vez será, tal vez no,
Am I
va a
going to
caer.
do that or not do it? Am I going to achieve it
Solo
or
así, ¿no?
not? So we have this retok,
Eso no es bueno, ¿no?
and it's not good.
Como todas las cosas sale, no sale, depende del presente que está cultivando.
Whatever will come to be, come to fruit, depends on the presentness of the current moment. How
Presente.
mindful are we right now?
Estoy vivo, estoy
I'm alive
estoy,
now.
No significa borrar a todo proyecto,
It
no
doesn't
significa,
mean
¿ya?
erase all your projects,
Pero es importante ahora presente, firme,
but
¿no?
be present
Acción.
with every action.
Seguramente la mano de bien, pensamiento positivo interno, ¿no?
So surely
Yeah.
Lama Dorje feels good and positive in this moment.
Su fruto va a salir
Then
bien,
the
¿no?
fruit is going to be good
Sin querer,
without even thinking about it.
¿no? A veces nosotros, pasado, futuro, para
We're so
cruza.
stuck in the past and the future,
No hay presente,
and there's no present.
¿entendió? No disfruta,
And
¿no?
then we're not enjoying it.
¿No? Es como, claro, todas las aflicciones
And
siempre
then the
jugando, ¿no?
afflictions just take over and they start jumping around in the mind.
Autojugando,
And we judge ourselves,
crítica,
we criticize,
apego,
we get
miedo,
attached, and
rechazo,
we're fearful, and
es
we're
todo
angry. And
confusión, ¿no?
all this
Eso no.
confusion happens.
Por eso conecta Bodhicitta.
So connect with bodhicitta.
Esa es una protección.
It's a protection.
La mente altruista, muy
The
simple.
altruistic mind.
Yo
very
vengo a
simple.
ese mundo a ser mejor persona.
I came to this world to be a better person.
Mi naturaleza como ser divino.
My nature is a divine being.
100% tú sientes, ¿no?
100%.
Compromiso, ¿no?
That's the commitment.
A veces yo les digo, Lama, yo no sentí eso. Yo no
Sometimes
veo
you say,
eso.
like,
¿no?
Lama, I don't feel that. I don't experience that.
¿Cómo puedes creer?
How can I believe that?
¿Por qué tú quieres tu cumpleaños 18 de abril?
Why do you believe that your birthday is on the 18th of April?
¿Por qué quieres?
Why?
¿Tú recuerdas?
Do you
¿Naciste?
remember being born?
No,
No,
mi mamá dijo,
but your mom told you.
oh, tú te quieres tu madre, tu cumpleaños,
So you
¿no?
believe your mother about your birthday.
Tú tienes esa esencia potencial, querer ser iluminados.
And then I tell you, you have the potential to be an enlightened being.
Leche no vio.
But I don't see
There's
it
no real
inside.
mantequilla.
I don't see the butter inside. When I look at milk, I don't see it.
Yo no creo.
I don't believe it because I don't see it in the milk.
No fue, no,
No,
respuesta no
there's no
correcta.
butter. No butter in the milk. I don't see it. Not true.
No, respuesta no buena,
That-
no
that's
lógico.
not a logical response.
Ahí tenemos mantequilla.
There's butter there.
¿Qué tiene que
What
hacer?
do you need to do? You need to practice.
Sale.
And then it comes out.
Batir,
You
batir.
have to practice.
Práctica. Eso, ¿ya? Y va saliendo eso, ¿no? Es con mantequilla.
And then the butter will come up and you'll see it, experience it.
Ese viene poco a poco,
And
¿no?
that happens little by little.
Yo primer año retiro no sentía nada.
For an entire first year of my solitary retreat, I didn't feel anything.
Pensando, ¿por qué vengo a
I
perder el
thought
tiempo?
this is a waste of my time.
¿Serio? ¿Sí?
Really?
No sentí nada.
I
como
didn't
que
feel
está-
anything.
Repite mandara.
Repeating mantras, doing all these
Casa
things
chiquitito.
in this tiny little
Mejor
house.
disfrutar.
I was
¿no?
like, I should leave.
Sí, ¿no? Sensación viene
Like,
eso,
I
¿no?
really felt like that.
Sigue confiando maestro,
But I
¿no?
kept trusting my teacher.
Y él dijo, oye, este hace
He said,
proceso,
you
¿no?
got to keep doing the prostrations.
Ya, un día, oh, ya sentí.
Then one day I
No,
felt it.
ya. Ahora no hay ganas de salir.
And then I didn't want to ever leave the
No
retreat.
quiero salir. Muy feliz, tranquilidad.
I just felt so tranquil and
Nunca logro
peaceful.
eso.
I was like, wow, I've never
Sentir.
experienced that before.
Quiero más.
I just want to be in that
Ahí
now.
viene apego, ¿no?
Then there's attachment.
Ahí mi maestro te salir
And
ahora.
then my teacher was like, now you gotta leave.
A veces quita, no quiere quitar, no quiere salir, no salir, ¿no? Y eso no son mente mañoso, ¿no? Ya, ok. Esa es la diferencia, hermano, ¿entendió? ¿Entendió? eso,
So
¿no?
that's the experience.
No, ya. Es poco a poco, poco a poco.
And I just wanted to share too another thing that helps us to have a good association with meditation is to do it in really small bits. Like we can't be so like ambitious that we're like, I'm gonna sit for an hour right now. You know, like they actually recommend 5 minutes, like bits of 5 minutes, like many times a day, and then you have a good association with it. And then also like if you have an expectation, I'm going to sit for these 5 minutes and have no thoughts, we already set ourselves up for loss, because that's not actually the point of meditation. The point is to have wisdom of the mind to see what's going on in there. And so so the idea is I'm going to sit with myself for 5 minutes and see what's going on, and I'm going to do my best not to when the thoughts arise, I'm not going to get lost in it and elaborate it. I'm also not going to try to push it away and make a blank mind. I just notice, touch it like a bee kisses the flower and let it go. It kisses it and let it go. We keep doing that over and over. And you can do it in anything. You can like really enjoy and taste your tea. Really know that your hands are washing the plate right now. And it's like extremely hard. And can be very joyful. You know, if we like everything that we do, if we just like keep tasting like what it is to be fully present in this thing that we're doing, and notice when the mind started making its lists and all of that, then it becomes a lot more joyful, and then we have a good association with what mindfulness and meditation means, and then you want to practice more. You're like, it feels very nice to be fully present right now. And so I think a lot of times if we're want to play games and things, it's because it's an easy way to relax. Like there's a instant gratification, because it's mindless. We can like mindlessly enjoy and relax and be there. And so if we can like learn to like just be there and present with ourselves and have that really good association, they say that it's more nurturing than sleep. Just those like 5 minutes of being so present with ourselves. So good associations helps it also to be joyful.
Desde comer un minuto.
Start with a minute.
Un minuto. To no entra ninguna negatividad, ¿no?
Just don't. If any negative thought comes, don't elaborate it. Don't allow it to elaborate.
Después 2 minutos.
Then 2.
3 minutos.
Then 3.
Esa aumenta.
And just keep increasing it.
Sentir amor, la compasión.
Just feel love.
Right? Incluso repetir, Chanchuksem.
Just say Chanchuksem. Bodhicitta.
¿No? Ese mismo, ¿no? Y entonces sentí eso.
Yeah.
Por eso yo le digo, imagina otro día hablando, una taza cerámica, por ejemplo, no tiene protección, solda, ¿qué pasa? Rompe, ¿cierto?
I'm sorry.
Una taza sin protección, una cerámica, solda en la tierra.
So if you
¿qué
have
pasa?
like a ceramic cup and it's not protected by anything, you drop it on the ground, what happens?
Rompe,
It
¿cierto?
breaks.
Pierde la tierra todo, ¿no?
We lose everything.
Póngale esa cosita.
You put a protection on
Suave.
it. It's
Suave.
soft.
Suave ese amor.
This is the love, the compassion, the patience.
Choca, ¿no?
It
No.
can fall.
No va a doler,
Nothing's gonna happen to it.
no va a romper.
Nothing's gonna break.
Por eso amor es incondicional, es protection best.
So
mejor.
unconditional love is the best protection.
¿Ya? Y eso tiene que lograr todo.
So that's what we want to. That's your homework.
Okay, gracias.
I felt a course.
Uno
There was
más?
a hand over here
Yeah,
too.
solo,
Okay, I see
sorry.
one here too. But there was one over here too. Go ahead.
I'm just curious if you can talk a little bit more about earlier. There was a suggestion that like it's really easy to follow the Eightfold Path when something is really hard or on fire, like you described. But when things are pleasurable or good, it's a little bit harder to abide. I feel like for me, my experience, like even if you go to a temple, it's beautiful. So like beauty, desire, simplicity can lead you closer to this place of mindfulness or farther away. So I would love if we could talk a little bit more about that. Is that like how can you offer more discernment around pleasure? Like for example, when I drink my tea, I really drink my tea and I experience like pleasure in that. And if we could talk about that a little bit about what experiences can draw you away from your sense of center and what can bring you back.
So I'll repeat. And so I just want to, earlier you were speaking about this kind of discernment around, particularly you mentioned the Eightfold Path and the perfections on there's ways that we can get lost in our suffering, but there's also ways that we can get lost in our pleasures and like comforts and laziness. So for example, I just wanted to know if you can give some more information around the discernment of that line, because for instance, we could go to a beautiful temple and see kind of beautiful paintings and like all, and you know, be in a really nice ambience or space, and in that space we can feel more connected with ourselves, but we could also get lost in the pleasure of that. Or for example, I could be drinking my tea, and drinking the tea, I can really be present and enjoy and experience pleasure from drinking the tea. But I could also get lost in that. So maybe you can offer some more information on the discernment of not getting so lost in the pleasures and not getting so lost in the sufferings.
Yeah.
Estaba hablando de la línea de discriminación en no perderse en los placeres. Más antes hablaste de la Eightfold Path, como tener la right view y right intention.
Yeah.
Pero básicamente cómo podemos disfrutar la vida, pero no perdernos en los placeres y tener más como distinción, más.
Ya. Ok.
¿Recuerdas?
Entiendo. Claro. No perder la...
Porque estamos hablando de like, como personas que pierden la confort y la placer y la como flojo. Entonces, ¿cómo podemos disfrutar cosas bonitas, pero no perdernos en eso?
Maravilloso. Ok, maravilloso. Normalmente eso todo no va a perder nada. No va a perder todo placeres, ¿no? Uno de los maestros llama Tilupa, dijo. Discípulo Naropa.
So you don't have to get lost in the pleasures. So there was a great master named Tilopa.
Un último consejo, ¿no?
To Naropa.
To Naropa.
He gave this advice to his last advice to Naropa, his student.
Tú puedes comer rico, placer, todo. No hay problema.
There's no problem enjoying all of the appearances.
Con placer de 5 sentidos,
the pleasures of the 5 senses. Enjoy them.
Sufrir por tu apego.
You suffer from attachment.
Cuando apego es el sufrimiento, ¿no?
When you've got attachment, then you've got the suffering.
Y sí, como la placer no sufre, es felicidad,
so
¿no?
If your pleasure, like there's not a suffering in the pleasure there itself.
Porque yo tengo hoy de comer rico,
like
rico,
I ate
¿no?
good food today.
Qué maravilloso, rico.
How wonderful,
Disfrutar,
delicious, enjoy
no perder la
I'm
oportunidad,
not going to
¿no?
lose this opportunity to enjoy.
Mañana tomando té,
Tomorrow
agua.
I just drink water.
No tengo comida rico de
And I
ayer.
don't have that food from yesterday.
Igual maravilloso.
I'm still going to be marvelous.
Porque no regresar.
I'm not going to just be stuck
ayer
in the
yo tengo, hoy
past.
no.
So good. Oh,
Hay sufrimiento, ¿sí o
there's
no?
suffering there.
Ahí existe uno, dos, ¿cómo se llama? Abejas, dos abejas.
Like there's 2 types of bees.
Uno, abeja usted sabe, no produce miel.
So bees like to produce honey.
Uno, abeja no tan inteligente.
One bee, not so intelligent.
Y él va todo néctar,
It
néctar,
goes
¿no?
and it drinks the nectar.
Y él queda ahí.
And it gets stuck in the nectar.
Y él no da cuenta, flor va a
It
cerrar.
had no idea the flower was about to close.
Y él bien apegado con
And
él.
it's so attached to the nectar.
Y él muere.
And it dies in the flower.
No muere solo él, ¿no?
And not just the bee.
Flores
It
muere.
kills the flower.
Los dos.
They both die.
Uno abeja inteligente.
And then there's the intelligent bee.
Ya sabe.
It's wise.
Toma el néctar.
It drinks the nectar.
Come.
It takes it.
Sale.
And it leaves.
No apegado con
It's
eso,
not
¿no?
attached to that.
Eso es importante. Como,
So
¿no?
that's important.
Importancia, conciencia.
So it's
Conciencia.
important to have consciousness.
Si tiene conciencia, no va a perder.
If you have consciousness, you're not going to get lost.
Porque tú tomas uno vino de taza. Okay,
You
vino.
drink a cup of wine.
Tú tienes conciencia,
If you still have your consciousness,
disfruta. Un
you
vino
can-
no pasa nada, ¿no?
you can still
Ya,
enjoy
cerveza,
and it really not be a big deal.
Luego no tiene conciencia,
But if you go over the
Ya.
line and lose
Toma
your
más, ya, toma
consciousness,
más.
you keep going,
ahí va a brocha.
there's going to be a problem. You're going to lose your awareness.
Pierde la conciencia.
You lose your consciousness,
Es que sale palabra
and then you start speaking very badly. You have bad attitude,
Y mañana sufrimiento.
and then
¿no?
there's suffering,
Incluso vomitando noche, ¿no?
and you might even throw up.
Porque eso significa no tener conciencia,
So that
¿no?
means you lost your consciousness.
Entonces todo depende de la
It
conciencia,
all
¿no?
everything depends on
Yo mi
consciousness.
personalmente disfruto máximo.
So I like to
No?
enjoy everything to the maximum.
¿Cómo que oportunidad?
Any
Bien,
opportunity,
¿no?
I'll enjoy it.
Ahora ya estoy envolvido, ¿no?
Marvelous.
¿no? Es lindo, ¿no?
It's lindo.
Vida no es puro
beautiful.
sufrimiento, ¿cierto?
Life is not just about suffering.
Está mucha felicidad, ¿no?
It's also happy.
Especialmente con visión de camino vajrayana, ¿no?
Especially in the Vajrayana path,
Camino de
the
transformación, ¿no?
tantric path, the path of
Todo
transformation.
puro,
Everything pure.
gozo sublimos.
It's
gozo
called the
sublimos.
supreme bliss.
Pero percibiendo arcoíris.
But perceive that everything is a rainbow.
Lindo arcoíris,
It's
maravilloso,
a
¿no?
beautiful rainbow,
Lamentablemente no dura
and
mucho,
it's
¿no?
not gonna last.
No puede tocar.
You cannot touch you can't keep everything. It's not stable.
Ustedes tienen apego con la... Tienen, cuando desaparece
Does
la...
anybody have attachment to rainbows?
Cuando desaparece tiene
When it
mucho...
disappears, do you cry?
¿Alguien llorando?
Are you crying
No,
about
llorando.
it? No one cries.
¿Ustedes gusta arcoíris?
Do you like the rainbows?
¿Bonito o no?
Everyone loves them.
Gusta.
It's super beautiful.
¿Disfruta?
Do you enjoy them?
Disfruta.
Enjoy it.
¿Después sufre o no?
Do you suffer when it goes?
No sufre.
You don't.
¿Por qué no sufre?
Why not?
Tú tienes conciencia de
You
eso.
know it's
Muy
gonna go
conciencia.
away. You already knew it.
Arcoíris es un arcoíris. como
Everything is
temporales,
a
¿no?
rainbow.
Puede palaciar, como no.
You can enjoy it,
O desaparece.
and it's gonna go away.
Ok, bien. Tú no necesitas aceptación de fuerza. Oh,
You
voy a
don't even.
aceptar,
There's
no.
not like so much.
Oh,
Particularly with
okay.
rainbows, there's not all this effort. Like I need to accept that it's gonna go away.
Aparece, desaparece.
It appears
Aparece.
and it disappears.
Todos los fenómenos.
Every phenomenon appears and disappears.
Ojalá todo el mundo comprende
I
como,
hope you can
comprendela
understand
como
that.
todo es arcoíris.
Please understand that everything is a rainbow.
Todo es arcoíris, comendo.
This is I'm drinking a rainbow
Arcoíris.
and here's a rainbow.
Todo arcoíris.
He's saying that everything is impermanent. Everything that's conditioned is impermanent.
Y entonces, ¿cuál es el beneficio de eso?
So what's the benefit?
Disminuir apegos.
It will decrease our attachment.
¿Qué pasa? Disminuir apego.
When we decrease our attachment, what happens?
Miedos.
We
miedos.
decrease our fears.
Miedo produce de apego.
Fear is produced from attachment.
Miedo de perder algo.
We
¿no?
are afraid to lose it.
Mucho, ¿no? Mucho apego, ¿no?
We have so much attachment.
Poco solta eso.
And so let it go
Sentir libertad, ¿no?
and feel freedom.
Ahí importa valencia, equilibrio,
And
¿no?
balance it. Find the
Todo
equilibrium.
ilusión va a romper eso.
You also don't just throw everything away and say it's all an illusion.
Eso, extremo, ¿no?
That's too extreme.
No va, camino medio.
You gotta
camino
find the
medio.
middle path.
So like a sense of contentment.
Yeah.
Because if you are in that place of contentment, just like when you see a rainbow, usually everybody's like, oh, the
Yeah.
rainbow! It helps you to actually receive like every experience because there's this understanding that it's impermanent. So
Mhm. Yeah, and it's the middle path too, because whether experience, this is super hard, but whether experiences are good or bad, you know they're impermanent. And so you have this background wisdom that knows everything is changing and impermanent. And so when something's good, we're like, my favorite animal in the world, you know, and then like we're not accepting change. It's like so painful, you know, or if we have this experience that makes us so angry, and we're like, the anger is so real, and this person and like what they're doing, it's so real. It's, you know, it's solid and happening. We don't recognize in that moment, like it's changing too. This will pass. This is one cloud. There's a solution. Find calmness. And so, and anything, recognizing that all of it's appearing and disappearing and appearing. Our bodies appear, it comes back as another body. Like all of it appearing, disappearing, all of the phenomena. The plants are changing, the river's changing, the flowers are changing, all of it's changing. And so when we have that background, we can be more content and equanimity with everything.
Una cosita hace, ¿no? Tal vez usted es muy bueno una cosa. Todo el mundo gusta un favorito película.
So everyone probably has like their favorite
¿Cierto?
movie.
Película, realmente,
You
¿cierto?
like love this
Mira,
certain
haciendo
movie.
bonito.
It's so beautiful.
Oh, feliz, ¿cierto?
And you're like
Muy
so
cierto.
happy in the movie. You're like, whoa,
¿Sí o no? ¿Cierto? ¿Es real?
is it real?
No
is the
es
movie
real,
real?
¿cierto?
It's not. You know it's
Algo
not.
pasando mal.
And then something bad happens
Y
in the
cuando
movie.
se creen alguna
And you
persona,
also cry.
llorando,
You're
¿no?
like, oh.
¿Cierto? Después ya terminó
And
película.
then the movie ends.
Oh, esa es película,
You're like, oh, it's just a movie.
¿no? Entonces, ahí qué hace, libera, ¿no?
So then
Dolor,
you're
felicidad.
free from the pain.
Igual es malo, bueno, igual
Good
película,
or
¿no?
bad, it's still a movie.
todo es película.
All of this is a movie.
Y eso puede recordar también, ¿no?
You can
Película.
just remember that.
Somos películas. Merenda película una persona, películas.
Oh, look at
película.
this movie. It's a good
Ustedes
one.
miren película Lama.
You
Yo miré
like-
película
I
para
like
ustedes,
this
¿no?
movie, Lama. This is
¿No?
a good one.
Ya. No sabemos, igual película buena, mala, ¿no? ¿Ya? O va a mirar otra película
I'm looking at
mejor.
a different movie now.
¿Ya? Todo películas,
All
¿ya?
of it's like this.
No toma uno serio.
So don't take it so
Permanente eso, ¿no?
seriously.
Cualquier situación de la vida.
Anything in life.
Todo película, buena, mala película.
So just like have a little bit more like distance, like observation of it. We'll take one last one.
Okay, last.
Does the llama ever get tired? And
No.
and what does he do when he does? Because I know I can't. That's the one thing when I'm tired, I can't be present.
Right.
And then I find, oh yeah, things are irritating.
Uh-huh.
So, but if I'm not tired, it's different. So I'm wondering what he does when he's tired.
Okay. The question is, does Llama ever get tired? And when he does, then what do you do to like not be tired? You know, just to take care of that. Because when we're tired, we're not present, and then more agitation arises. Primero quiero saber si tú a veces estás cansado.
¿Ya?
Y después, si estás cansado a veces, ¿cómo tú manejas esto? Porque cuando estamos cansados a veces muy fácil viene la agitación, entonces no estamos como presente.
¿Cansado cuerpo o mente?
That's a good response.
No.
Ask her. Good
Tú
response.
estás preguntando primero el cuerpo y la mente.
Are you
digamos.
asking me if my mind gets tired or my body gets tired?
Dos.
The both.
Yeah,
No, ya, dos.
those dos.
Normalmente yo no he cansado mucho
I
generalmente,
do
¿no?
not get
Oye, sí,
very
¿no?
tired very often.
Genero muy poco, tengo mucha energía.
He's got a lot of
ahorita, ¿no?
energy.
Como incluso yo no tengo domingo, sábado. Sigue trabajando.
Saturday and Sundays are also work.
Muchas acciones, ¿no?
A lot of
Ese-
action.
Siempre ese para mí como joyful y fuerte, ¿no?
For me, it's joyful effort.
Como haciendo, como disfruto. eso, ¿no?
I enjoy what I'm doing.
No algo obligación, ¿no?
It's not like a feeling of feeling
Y
obligated.
por supuesto, a veces como la situación muy de algo puede ser cansado
Sometimes
poco, ¿no?
certain situations can be like so kind of,
¿Entendió?
heavy or something that, yeah, of course, you get a little tired.
Y entonces poco eso, ¿no? Como cuerpo mente, ¿cierto? Y ese momento yo hago un poquito una meditación
And when that moment, then I meditate a little
con las
and I
respiraciones, ¿no?
breathe.
Conecto con la guru.
And then I
Como,
connect with the teacher, the master.
Presencia,
I
presencia
connect with
guru.
the presence of the teacher.
Ahí recuerdo todos los seres iluminados,
And I
¿no?
remember all the
Historias,
enlightened
¿no?
beings and I remember their stories.
Y ellos más difícil que yo,
They
¿no?
had way more difficulty than I do.
Entonces yo casi nada. Uno de los muchos vio mi maestro 87 años.
I think about my teacher a lot. He is 87 years old.
Viaja el mundo entero.
He's traveled the entire
No
world.
para, no
he
casi,
never
¿no?
stops.
Y él me dijo, yo le digo, Rinpoche, poco descansar, ahora poco
I said,
descansar.
Rinpoche, please rest.
Y él dijo, yo como disfruta, como descansando, no mi misión.
Like,
no,
if
no,
I
no
just
mi
enjoy
propósito.
resting, this is not my mission. Not
Mi-
achieving my
mi
purpose.
propósito otro feliz.
My purpose is to make others happy.
Y ese cuerpo nace para los servicios.
This body was born to be of service.
Me llena como cuando
And it
haces, ¿no?
fills me to do that.
Su cuerpo está todo muy viejito, como no ver
So
bien.
he can't
Así
see
es,
well.
incluso.
He has to open his eye. He like he's
Ese,
like
¿no?
got to open his eye.
Ese,
Like
¿no?
he can't. His eyes can't even stay open from
Como-
like
Siempre la
like a
sonrisa.
vision problem. But he's
Sí.
got a huge smile on his face.
Como su sentido Dalai Lama también, ¿no?
And like His Holiness the Dalai Lama.
Y eso me como ayuda mucho eso, ¿no?
It really helps
Admiración,
me.
¿no?
I think
Y
about
qué
them with such admiration.
Yo todavía supongo un poco joven, ¿no?
I supposedly am still young,
poco joven que ellos, ¿cierto?
like younger than them,
Pero igual viejito.
but I'm getting up there.
Entonces, eso yo motiva, transforma eso,
So
cansado,
I
¿no?
transform
Ok.
the tiredness.
Una de las cosas como no cansar tanto, cuando uno ama algo, cosas.
It also doesn't tire you when you love something that you're doing.
Como eso es muy importante, ¿no? Yo, por ejemplo, ama como la enseñar Dharma.
So I love teaching the Dharma,
Realmente. Me gustaría más personas entender eso, ¿no?
and I'd like more people to know it.
A veces yo una conversación viene a algún lugar 3 de la mañana hablando Dharma.
Sometimes I'll be somewhere and it'll be like till 3 in the morning talking about
Siguiente tomar té, hablando.
and I'll be
¿no?
like drinking
Mucho.
tea and continue to talk about it.
Es uno placer, ¿no?
And for me, it's a pleasure.
Es un propósito maravilloso,
And
¿no?
it's a great purpose.
Por ejemplo, eso, ¿no?
Also, like just noticing what he does, like the mindfulness. He's always in a restful state in what he's doing. So there's not like a need for like what we consider rest, where we need to like fully lay down and unplug. But when we unplug, we're still on our cell phone or doing whatever, you know. So he's like, he rests his mind. Like when he's doing something, he's doing that, not doing something else or like have it going a million miles an hour. So very like what we consider a mundane thing of like washing the dishes or like I don't know, packing up the Dharma store or whatever. Like he's just like really present with it. Like maybe even like puts on a Dharma talk. He's got his like headphones in. He's like listening to Dharma and just like doing the thing, whatever needs to happen, you know, and not like super worried, allowing worry to be. And then when it's time to think about the thing, he's thinking about the thing, you know, and like with logic from a place of calmness. So from that calm, the wisdom, it makes it easier for him just to like have an answer to something because there's a calm, and he's got like so much like physical energy from that because the mind is kind of, that's why he asked you in the beginning, are you asking, is my mind tired or is my body tired? And then like, yeah, if he's like actually tired, you know, from something, just actually go rest. Not like be like talking about, I need rest. That's like me. I'm like, I need a rest. You know, he's like, I just goes and rests and like actually turns off. And when he turns back on, he's fully back on. So I think that those are some of the little things. And then what he told you about is the mind motivation, the way he just changed his mind. So he's saying that pure motivation, I see when I impact people, he acknowledges that it impacted and made someone happy. He lets that fill his cup. Like when we leave a Dharma talk and someone's like have been impacted, he'll like go on about it. He's like, that person was so changed. I'm so happy, you know, and like he'll like really feel that. Like that was a good encounter. And that fills his cup. And so like and then he says, when my mind gets down a little, I think about my teachers, you know, I think about those who have laid the path ahead of me and they used to traverse mountains or imagine what the Dalai Lama did, you know, so I think about them and that increases my mental motivation. And then when I'm, you know, so he's like always doing that internal balance.
Una de las cosas, mira, Rica,
I want to add something.
cuando más cansado normalmente, generalmente, cuando negativos, pensamientos negativos,
You're mostly tired when you're allowing negativity or distraction to consume your mind.
¿Cierto? Como uno computador abierto, muchas ventanas.
If you have too many windows open on your computer,
Y
it
consume
drains
la
the
batería,
battery.
¿cierto? ¿Cierto? Batería, ¿cierto? Ahí tiene organizar
So
archivos.
you need to organize your files.
Archivo y también pagar.
All right, turn the files off that are not in use right now.
Eso, ¿no? Entonces, la mente positiva nunca cansado, ¿no?
Your positive mind, when when your mind is positive, then you're gonna get tired. It actually gives you more energy.
Ahora recién fuimos nosotros San José, ¿no? Dos parejas casamiento porque lejos.
We just went to San Jose like last week, and we're going today too, to go to a wedding.
Uno India,
one was
uno
from
de Costa Rica,
India,
¿no?
And one's from Costa Rica.
Y ellos mucho confianza con Lama,
and
quiero
they have
casar.
a lot of trust with Lama.
¿No? Yo casi punto de salienda ahora, ¿no?
Yeah, and
¿no?
we're
Muchas
like,
cosas, ¿no?
And we're
no
like,
punto de va saliendo,
yeah,
¿no?
we're leaving the country like tomorrow. So we already had planned to go to San Jose this week.
Entonces, mucho, ¿no? Ahora pidiendo eso, ¿no? Un poco cansado también, ¿no?
So
mucho
like
viaje,
normally like the
¿no?
amount of like we're coming here for Bodhicitta and going. So he's saying like all these travels and all these things like can make the body.
Uno lado dice como realmente ellos muy felices, ¿no?
But
yo veo
I
eso,
saw
¿no?
how happy they were.
Cuando veo eso, yo
When
feliz.
you see that, I'm so happy.
Ya vamos.
All right, let's
Tú
go.
puedes manejar, yo les
All
digo.
right,
No.
Carolyn, you drive.
Ya, sí. Yo no manejo Lama, ¿no? Lama no
The
maneja,
Lama
¿no?
doesn't drive,
Ya.
but he makes delicious snacks.
¿No? Ya. Yo cocino porque yo le digo, Caro, tú maneja, yo cocino, es rico, ¿no? Para uno, ¿no?
He gets up at 5 a.m. to make us
gasolina.
delicious snacks.
Ya. Ahí ya manejamos dos, ¿no? 4 horas casi, ¿no?
Yeah.
Ya. Y porque eso, cada uno ejemplo, yo mucho lleno feliz, ¿no?
So it
Persona
makes me
feliz,
like
¿no?
when I see people happy, it makes me happy.
Yo muy feliz, ¿no? Y entonces no cansado
So then
realmente,
I'm
¿no?
not tired.
Que claro, el cuerpo ese como impermanencia puede doler
The
poquito.
body can,
¿no?
like, feel. They actually have a distinguishing word in that in Spanish, like cansado, like tired when your body's tired, and when you're mentally tired. There's two different words in Spanish. I don't remember what they are, but but he's saying like, yeah, my body might get a little tired, but then I just respect that. I nourish it, but then the mind, I'm always nurturing the mind.
En tibetano normalmente dice sí, sí. Los tibetanos,
Mhm.
la maestro la siempre pregunta, nunca pregunta ¿cómo está tu cuerpo? Siempre pregunta. Mente no nada se pregunta.
Oh,
Grande maestro, ¿no?
when you read.
Kungam deo, dice,
Oh,
kungam.
interesting.
Ku,
Y cuando
Cuerpo.
es una persona ordinaria, también hace lo mismo.
lo mismo.
Tú preguntas,
Normalmente.
How's your
Normalmente
body?
más kungam deo como para los maestros, ¿no?
Pero ¿cómo hablas cuando es ordinario?
Ordinario más mente.
Okay.
Mente, come tu mente.
You say that?
Yeah.
That's- Oh, weird. Interesting. Curious. So he said that, okay, so background in the Tibetan language, there's a specific language when you talk to masters. There's like a difference in the language, right? There's a language of respect. And then there's their lay language too that you normally talk in the house and things. So in that like language of respect, when you're addressing a master, when you say "How are you," the literal translation of it is "How is your body?" You're asking them that because you already know their mind is good. Their
Solo
mind is
preguntan,
good. But the way it translates in the ordinary language is "How is your mind?"
come tu su mente,
Like,
¿no?
how is your mind
Porque
right
nosotros
now?
siempre enfermamente, ¿no?
Because we're
Como
always sick
¿no?
with our mind.
Cuerpo está bien.
Your body's good.
Entonces eso como la más o menos como
It's
poquito
kind of like
distinguir,
the way
¿no?
it kind of
No,
distinguishes.
como, porque palabras ricos, ya.
Interesting.
Entonces ahora vamos a corto meditación, ¿puede ser?
So we're gonna absorb all this information by doing a short meditation.
Ya, corto meditación, entonces nuestro tiempo está cerca. Se puede mirar, es cuando es.
So 10 minutes.
Oh, ya 10 minutitos
10.
ya. Ok, entonces vamos, postura más cómoda,
So coming into a comfortable
como
position.
Cindy. Es simple, me vas a meter en respiraciones
And we're gonna
profundamente,
do 3 breaths deeply,
muy profundamente,
very deeply.
por la nariz, entrando todo tu cuerpo.
Breathe deeply in through the nose.
Esa área de como sabiduría primordial, los seres iluminados,
It is the wisdom, the primordial wisdom
Amor
of
y
the
compasión.
enlightened beings, the love and
a través de luz
compassion.
blanco, inhalando,
And through a white light, breathing it in.
desbloqueando los chakras
And
canales
allow it to unblock all of
y
your channels.
exhalando luz oscuro,
And exhale the darkness,
como todo lo que tristeza,
all of
miedo,
your sadness and fear and doubts,
todo cualidades negativas.
all of the negative qualities.
Exhalando por la boca.
And you exhale through the mouth.
Haciendo 3 veces eso.
Do that 3 times
Solo siente el momento presente.
and just feel yourself present here.
Y también sientes tu presencia, tu propia presencia.
So just feel your own presence,
Presencia de amor,
the presence of love
compasión,
and compassion
protección,
and protection,
seguridad.
security, safety.
Sentir eso.
Feel that.
Que sentir presencia de cada uno de nosotros.
Feeling the presence of yourself.
Puede imaginar unos desafíos de la vida, ese momento, especialmente situaciones.
Imagine a difficulty that you have in life right now.
Simplemente a través de compasión, esa situación representa como luz oscuro.
And through compassion, you bring that difficult situation towards you in the form of like a black cloud.
Inhalando,
Inhale it.
llegando cerca de luz de tu corazón,
And let that situation come close to the light of your heart.
transformando una luz
And let the light naturally transform the darkness.
y dar amor para uno mismo,
And give love to yourself.
dar paz,
Give yourself peace.
felicidad,
Give yourself happiness.
Después se podemos imaginar nosotros cercanos, nuestros hermanos, nuestra familia,
So imagine the people that are close to you in your life, your beloveds.
su situación.
Imagine their situation.
También inhalando
Inhale
con la
it
compasión,
through compassion.
un luz oscuro, su situación, tormento.
Imagine the darkness, like bring it towards you.
Cerca de tu
And
corazón.
let it come close to the light in your heart.
Convierte una luz de la amor.
And allow it to convert into the light of love.
Ritornando luz de la felicidad.
And let it return to the light of happiness.
Sacando sufrimiento
Take on that suffering
y dando felicidad.
and give the happiness.
Y poco a poco cambiamos nosotros, vecinos, nosotros,
And then
amigos.
also think of your neighbors and friends.
Y poco a poco todos los seres también seguramente sufriendo.
And even think about all beings and all the ways they
Los
struggle.
animales,
The animals
insectos,
and the insects,
humanos.
the humans.
Inhalando eso, energía
Feel
de
this
sufrimiento.
energy of suffering
De compasión,
through compassion,
empatía.
empathy.
Y cambiemos, dar felicidad para ellos.
Change it and offer them happiness.
Reciben esa luz de la felicidad.
Allow them to receive this light of happiness.
Es llamado Tong Len.
This is called Tong Lin.
Tong significa dar.
Tong means to give.
Len significa recibir.
Lin means to receive.
A través de compasión, recibir.
Through compassion, receive.
A través de amor, dar.
Through love, give.
Inhalando de compasión,
So breathe in the compassion.
de sufrimientos,
Breathe
los
in the
seres.
struggles.
Y exhalando amor,
And give love.
retornando para cada ser, reciben de esa luz de la felicidad.
Give the light of happiness to all beings.
Ahí sentimos todo nosotros, personal, desafío, resolviendo,
Feel all of our personal issues resolving.
y todo los sufrimientos de los seres,
And the
transformando,
suffering of others transforming.
y todo verá como arcoíris,
And imagine and notice everything as a rainbow.
como una película.
It's all like a movie.
Uno está juego,
It's a game.
gana, pierde, o gana, pierde.
Loss, gain, and loss.
Es como ilusorio.
It's all illusory.
Final no gana ni pierde.
In the end, no one's losing and no one's gaining.
Es importante de comprender,
It's important to comprehend.
es sentir en la Bodhicitta, en el corazón,
Feel Bodhicitta in your heart.
la mente, coraje,
The courageous,
amorosa,
loving,
la sabiduría como conciencia.
wisdom, consciousness.
Es inseparable
These are inseparable
en el corazón.
in the heart.
Forma una luz blanco,
It forms a white light,
uno sol
a sun
que representa
that represents
esas cualidades.
these qualities.
Sol brillando,
The sun is shining
todos los seres.
to all
Sol del amor.
beings. The sun of love.
Corazón de cada uno de nosotros saliendo mucha luz.
From all of our hearts is shining a bright light,
Transformando toda oscuridad.
transforming all of the obscurations,
Todo alcanzando estado de las cualidades.
all
todos los
are
seres.
achieving this state of happiness and well-being.
Repita mantra de amor y compasión.
We're going to repeat the mantra of love and compassion.
Repite después el lama primero.
So repeating after Lama.
Om
Om
Mani
Mani
Padme Hum.
Padme Hum.
Om Mani
Om Mani
Padme Hum.
Padme Hum.
Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme hong. Om mani padme hum. 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 Gewadiyo najara zewana. Noaji jamale wade ya sana go bar yo changyo simjo rimboji ma ye wana gejo ji ye wanya mame. Kongne kongdo ferwa sho.
May the precious and excellent Bodhicitta rise where it has not arisen. May it never decline where it has arisen. May it always increase more and more.
Inhalen, exhalando.
Inhaling and exhaling.
Dos manos tocan el corazón.
Bringing your two hands to your heart
Simbol, me sentí gratitud.
and feel gratitude
Uno mismo,
to yourself,
y familia,
to your family,
y todos hermanos y hermanas de acá.
to your brothers and sisters here in the Sangha,
Y agradeciendo la Sharon,
and giving
y
thanks to Sharon and Mac,
Ma, y Judy,
and Ruthie and Jeff,
todo como toda la presencia hermano que está permitiéndonos hacer eso y yo mucha fuerza trabajo ya que
in
hicieron
the presence of all of our brothers and sisters that put so much effort to make this possible
por
for
la
us
Bodhicitta.
through Bodhicitta.
So, gratitud, sentí gratitud.
Just feeling gratitude
Recibí todo eso como alimentación para nosotros, mente.
to have this nutrition to the mind.
Vamos a desarrollar cada más.
Every day I'm going to keep developing it.
Inhalen suavemente.
Inhaling and exhaling deeply.
Y puedo soltar el cuerpo.
And relaxing your body
Y puedo abrir los ojos.
and opening your eyes.
Oh, yeah.